Oh boy, I hope you folks did not miss a thriller tonight at Chase Center. This was riveting, tantalizing, titillating, thrilling, exhilarating, awesome, wild, exulting party. It was amazing. Final score 113-94. The Warriors almost pull it off against a Philadelphia 76ers team playing the second of a back-to-back. It was unbelievable. Folks, if you did not see the game tonight, you missed an awesome game. It was I still am shaking, quivering from just how amazingly close it was, how precarious of a position the Warriors were in routinely, and they almost pulled it off. I mean, oh my God. Steve Kerr, give that man Coach of the Year. Brandon Pajemski, give him a contract extension. I mean, he deserves it after that performance. The Warriors played so well, I don't even think we should give a FanDuel Player of the Game honor tonight. Just like a team-wide awesomeness of performance, if you will. That was ugly. That was quite possibly the most uninspiring game of the year for your Golden State Warriors. Philly is not a good team. This was the second of a back-to-back, and your Golden State Warriors lay an egg. 113-94 the final. The starters were entirely the problem tonight, with the exception of maybe Gui Santos. This was a bad one. Nick the Greek saying 19 is generous. This was ugly. Where are the Pajemski defenders tonight? Where are the Steve Kerr apologists tonight? I want to hear from you. I want to hear all about the amazing system that the Warriors run, which is the single biggest catalyst for success for your Golden State Warriors. Get the F out of here, man. This was a disgrace of a game by your Warriors. And there was one clear issue, and we'll talk about that on the program. Were minutes misallocated, misappropriated? Huge surprise, yes. We'll also talk about the trade deadline, and some teams are getting involved, and it's not your Golden State Warriors, unfortunately. Although there is still time. The trade deadline is Thursday, I think 12 noon. I don't remember the exact time. Don't quote me on the when Thursday, but it's Thursday. Jamal Brown in our chat saying trade Dre. Will that make a difference? I will say this: when the Warriors are next on the court playing basketball, we will know how this team looks the rest of the year, because the trade deadline will have passed when the Warriors play the Phoenix Suns in Phoenix Thursday. Is Steph going to play in that game? Is Jonathan Kuminga still on the team? Will Seth Curry ever play again this year? What is going on? Let's try and have some fun. Try being the imperative word here. We're powered by FanDuel, and this is the Golden Days. Let's go. Welcome to the program. My name is Cyrus Saatsaz, your host for the evening. You can follow me on Threads and Instagram at DogWild. Over on Twitter, my handle is @SurfJournalist. The program on both platforms at Golden Days Pod, as we join you live from the Golden Days Studios in West Sonoma County, California, located about 30, 40 miles north of San Francisco, something like that, maybe a little more. We're coming to you right after the Warriors and the Sixers. Again, we're the final 113-94, incredibly uninspiring ball by the Warriors. And all you have to do is look at the box score, which I'm going to share on my screen in just a second, to understand what happened in this game tonight. It is not complicated. Is there even more nuance than what I'm about to show you, which indicates what went right and mostly wrong? Yeah, but I will, as usual, try my best to articulate this clearly for the podcast audience, who I value tremendously. I know we don't go live for you, but I do my best to think of you. You are important, and you do represent a good chunk of the audience. So, in terms of what went wrong tonight, let me share my screen, which is a box score of tonight's game. This is the one that the media, the players, anytime you see an NBA player in a post-game press conference looking down, like reading, right, scores, they're taking a good look. Remember a case in point, remember Draymond, the first time he had a fit this year, he was looking at the box score, just calling out all the individuals with agendas. We still don't know for sure who he was calling out there. But anyways, that's what we're looking at right now. And it is not very complicated to see what went wrong. The starters, their net rating in the right-hand column, if you can see that on your screen, great. If not, I will read it out loud for you, were atrocious. Side note, guess who picks the starters? Now, and that's the head coach, Steve Kerr. Now, granted, the Philadelphia 76ers, usually the starters are matched up with the other team's starters. And so sometimes your bench, it can make up ground against an opposing bench that's weaker. And I don't know if that's what the story was tonight, but we look at this particular column right here, and the Warriors' 5 starters tonight were all atrociously deep in the negative in net rating. Draymond Green, a minus 27. And I'll read their stats as I'm going through this. Draymond finished the game with 6 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, just 1 turnover. So that's good. Was 2 of 7 from deep. Al Horford, Big Al, minus 27. He was playing some good ball early in this game, keeping the Warriors in it with a decent 3-point shooting. Did finish 2 of 4 from beyond the arc. But Big Al, in 20 minutes and 5 seconds, 0 rebounds. 0. Al Horford did not grab a single board in this game. Side note, T-Boy Master saying in the chat, you still have people out there defending Steve Kerr. How do you have a team playing an actual NBA game and only finish with 2 free throw attempts? Yeah, we'll talk about that in just a second. There's a lot to break down here that was just ugly. But yeah, there are still people out there defending Steve Kerr. It's incredible. Moses Moody, minus 26. Interestingly enough, even though he was part of an atrocious group, I actually thought Moses Moody was not the issue tonight. And I was borderline shocked that he only got 20 minutes and 15 seconds. To put it in perspective for you, Moses Moody played less than Gui Santos, than Draymond Green, than Pat Spencer, than DeAnthony Melton, than Buddy Hield. Why? Well, we know why. It's because the Warriors have a head coach who makes no damn sense, ever. Moses Moody was 4 of 8 from the field. All 8 of his field goal attempts were from beyond the arc. Dude shot 50% from deep. Those were all his points. 12 points on the night. 2 rebounds, no assists, 1 steal. Minus 26. And then our player of the game, the man of the hour, let's just give him a hand right now because he was just that awesome tonight. Mr. Sideshow Bob himself.
You're crazy, man. You're crazy. I like you, but you're crazy.
Don't know why I play that right now. I just like Will Ferrell, and that's a hilarious clip. Maybe it's the curly hair that made me think of that. Brandon Pajemski tonight. Oh, boy. Steve Kerr's favorite. A man that pretty much every other show that covers the Warriors, whether it's legacy media, whether it's fanboy shows, all hyping this guy up because they don't know shit about basketball. Their golden boy, Brandon Pajemski tonight, in 25 minutes and 16 seconds, a whopping 8 points. Podziemski also had 4 turnovers. The one bright side, he was 2 of 5 from deep. He entered this game just 3 of 21 from deep. So with tonight's box score, he's now 5 for his last 26 from beyond the arc. That's a real stat. Podziemski added 2 rebounds, 2 assists. And if Brandon Podziemski can't do jack shit against the Philadelphia 76ers, in what delusional world are you living in where you think Podziemski is worth anything more than a minimum contract and worth anything more than, let's say, 10 minutes a game? Are there people in the chat defending Podziemski after a game like this? I mean, I see Wordman saying Pods was ass. Good analysis. I see What the F is Fashion saying Podziemski could never play make. Accurate. Kev F saying Podziemski's not a playmaker. He's an Olympian. Hell nah. Hell yeah. Body of Adonis right there. So no, I don't think there's people defending Brandon Podziemski. Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about trades later. I'm highlighting your chat right now. A quick donation, but just to recap real quick here with the box score one more time. Gui Santos, who I thought, and Gui Santos was your 5th starter tonight. He was a minus 13. So to summarize, your 5 starters tonight: Draymond Green minus 27, Al Horford minus 27, Moses Moody minus 26, Brandon Podziemski minus 22, and then Gui Santos doing a bit more heavy lifting than the rest of his starting 5, a minus 13. And the reason why I call out the bench, or they call out the starters, is because when you go to the bench and you see what they did tonight net rating wise: Pat Spencer +4, D'Anthony Melton +9, Quentin Post +10, Buddy Hield. Buddy, I got to get that drop. Email myself real quick here. Buddy the Elf. I need that drop because every time we bring up Buddy Hield, I need to say loud and proud, Buddy, except I need to play that drop. And I will not forget to get that drop again. So I want me some Elf and I want me some Buddy. There we go. So Buddy Hield was a +6. Even GP2 with the damn near Tony Snell night. It is 8 minutes and 50 seconds. Did have 1 assist, 0s across the board otherwise, but he was a +2. Will Richard was one of the only bench players tonight. You could argue he was the only one because Trace Jackson Davis and Malachi Leons only played in garbage time late in the game. Will Richard came off the bench, played 13 minutes and 6 seconds, a -7. So it isn't complicated. Starters were ass burgers, not the disease. They were eating burgers that taste and look like ass. The bench held their own. Tommy dropping $5 saying, what do you think the Warriors' plan B is if they can't swing a trade for Giannis? I sense Giannis is either staying in Milwaukee or going elsewhere. Okay, we're going there now. All right. So a lot of trades today in the NBA, none of them involving your Golden State Warriors. And the Giannis Antetokounmpo watch continues. What I've said before and I'll say again is what this is going to ultimately come down to when it comes to Giannis Antetokounmpo is where does he want to play? Because he holds all the cards. The Warriors undoubtedly have made the best offer because they have the best assets of all the teams that are expressing strong interest in Giannis. And the 4 teams that are most closely linked are the Warriors, the Timberwolves, the Knicks, and the Miami Heat. And again, the Warriors can offer 4 first-round picks. They can also add a pick swap. They can throw in assets, including Kuminga, Podziemski. You'd use either Jimmy Butler's contract or Draymond Green's contract to finalize that deal. If you're using Jimmy Butler's, you're going to be bringing back additional assets, maybe a Bobby Portis. I'm sure Milwaukee would love that additional asset to be Kyle Kuzma, whatever the case. That's how that trade would look like. But the caveat here is, what does Giannis want to do? Where does he want to go? And the reason why he has so much leverage in determining where he's going to play next is because a year and change from now, he's going to be an unrestricted free agent. And what nobody likes to bring up is the fact that the Warriors have a head coach that does not exactly elicit excitement from prospective free agents. Steve Kerr is not a coach that players like to play for. Players leave the Warriors not saying good things about him. Free agents are not running here dying to play for him. Kevin Durant left and then 4 years later rejected a trade back to the Warriors because of Steve Kerr. And yet you still have ignoramuses all over the place pretending he is not the problem here. Unbelievable shit. And that's vitally important because, again, this is up to Giannis. And Giannis does not want any piece of Steve Kerr. The Stephen Curry tantalizing part of it has faded. Steph's going to be 38 in a month. He's missing games because of runner's knee. Folks, when you're missing games because of runner's knee, that's some old man injury shit. That's some Izal shit.
Oh, my neck, my back, my neck and my back. Oh.
In this case, my knee. But my point is, I bring that up because why would Giannis want to come to a situation where the only help he has on his team is a 38-year-old with a bad, creaky knee? Giannis can see the writing on the wall with the Warriors. Great. I go there. All the pressure is on me. I have a coach who will not look at me the way he looks at his superstar Steph. He will not focus this team on me when every other team will. And I have zero support. The only selling point for Giannis is the Bay Area itself. And that's just not enough, man. So, Tommy, I'm sorry for the answer you did not want to hear. And look, I could be wrong. I'm not Nostradamus. But I gave the odds before, and I'll say it again. The odds of Giannis Antetokounmpo coming to the Warriors, 5 to 15%, let's say 10%. And that's a high estimate. Chances are not happening. And then G4M, and a mess, this goes for everyone else also who for months was spamming our chat saying, dude, Kuminga's gone, bro. It's a foregone conclusion. Is it? And G4M saying just trade Kuminga already. For who? Why? Kuminga right now, if he doesn't get traded, come Thursday, Jonathan Kuminga is the second best player on your team. If you want this season to be a little interesting, if you want Steph to have support, you better ask for a specific trade where you're getting some value back. Otherwise, that's a pipe dream, friend. And do not mistake, and G4M, I get it, that you want to see Kuminga play on another team. If you're worried about Kuminga, know this. His biggest issue is Kerr. And there's a very strong possibility, A, the rest of the year Kuminga might get a run. We have no idea what Steve Kerr is going to do with him. But B, long term, he could have a much larger role with the new coach. And maybe he's happier then, and maybe he gets paid so that and money goes a long way. Riz, and by the way, Riz, who says Kuminga for Mike Lowry. Not Mike Lowry, just Lowry marketing.
Mike Lowry. Mike Lowry. Mike Lowry. I'm Mike Lowry.
Lowry. That's how you pronounce his name. That's why we have that drop. The Utah Jazz made a trade today where one of the more bizarre, like out of left field type deals where they give up, I believe, 3 first-round picks for Jaren Jackson Jr. And crazy trade. And when I saw that, my mind immediately went to 2 possible scenarios. One is Utah wants to be like the Houston Rockets and have this gigantic front court that causes issues for a lot of other teams. In other words, Lowry Markkanen becomes your small forward at 7 feet. Jaren Jackson Jr. is your 4 defensive specialist. Walker Kessler, when he's back healthy, is your 5, obviously. And that's your front court. And you're modeling it after a Houston Rockets team that is pulling it off for the most part. But at the same time, things have to be perfect for that to work out. I don't know. If it was a weird trade, reeked of desperation. Reminded me a little bit of when the Jazz grabbed John Collins a few years back, and that went nowhere. The Professor Armando Laura, side note, thought the Warriors should have been in the play for Jaren Jackson, and what I told him is agreed, except for the 3 pick part. Like the Warrior, 3 first-rounders. The Utah Jazz have a massive stockpile of draft picks, so they can afford to take a swing like that. The Warriors can't. But anyways, my mind went to 2 things here with the Jaren Jackson Jr. trade. One is this big lineup that Utah can roll out starting next year when Walker Kessler comes back, or 2, that what Riz is saying in her chat, that maybe Utah made this deal so that they can in turn flip Lowry Markkanen. But who knows? Who knows? Another paid chat, and we'll bring the audience on very soon. Oh, the Professor dropping $10. Armando, I hope you know you can just come on the show and not pay money. It's an open door policy for you, sir. Love Armando. He's going to join us Friday, as he always does for Friday happy hour. It's going to be at our regularly scheduled time, the 5 o'clock-ish hour, because the Warriors do not have a game this Friday. Writing in our chat, I'd rather have Phoenix, Jazz, Portland's future. Oh shit, I see what you're saying. You're saying that the future is brighter for the Phoenix Suns, the Utah Jazz, and the Portland Trailblazers than this shit show that Mike Dunleavy Jr. and Steve Kerr are currently presenting to the world. The Professor adding, missing out on Jaren Jackson Jr. while dreaming of Giannis Antetokounmpo, which Armando calls overrated. Signing the corpse that is Al Horford, who played 20 minutes tonight, had 0 rebounds. None. That is inexcusable. How are you a center on an NBA team? You play 20 minutes. The opposing team's starting center is out because they're playing the second of a back-to-back, referencing Joel Embiid, and you get 0 rebounds? None? It was a bad look. Very bad look for Big Al. And the Podziemski minutes are a bad look. In all caps, the Professor writes, unforgivable. And they all should be fired. Well, the good news is that's likely going to be the scenario for Steve Kerr in this offseason. Mike Dunleavy Jr. is highly doubt he's going anywhere, at least for another year. Wordman adding that the rest of the league is getting younger. The Warriors are getting older. Nick the Greek saying Big Al Horford with 0 rebounds. Brandon Podziemski with 2 assists as your point guard. 8 points total in 25 minutes. You got to try to be this bad. It is not a good look. This was just a very bad game. If you are a Brandon Podziemski believer, how do you defend this? He's second on the team in minutes. Make that make sense. All right, let's bring some audience members on. I know a lot of people have thoughts they want to express. I want to while we set that up, we'll play some sound from the post game. Obviously, we'll get the audience on. We'll read some emails that apparently was a hit. I heard from a bunch of people saying they like the email segments. We'll start reading some more emails. Those come in regularly. And by the way, again, if you want to send an email in, all you got to do is type warriors24pod@gmail.com to get your message in. I want to mention the rebounding numbers. I brought up Big Al getting a whopping zero rebounds. The Warriors as a team tonight were out-rebounded. Let me get this number right. Philadelphia had 55 rebounds. The Warriors had 34. Why is Trace Jackson-Davis getting DNPs? Makes no effing sense. Points in the paint. Warriors outscored by 24. Philadelphia had 54 points in the paint. The Warriors had 30. And with that said, we go to the East Coast. Julian Bashir. How you doing? Beautiful picture.
How you doing? Hi, Cy. Big fan. How are you?
Thanks, man. I'm a fan of you, brother. How you doing, man? How's the East Coast?
It's looking pretty beautiful. The snow is still on the ground, but it's just kind of like settling in. It's very concrete hard, so it's just a very solid, nice layer of snow. That's pretty much
a beautiful shade of dark brown / black, maybe some green in there.
Yeah. Well, I want to pose some questions to you.
Yeah.
When you are playing a game without three of your three players, Steph Curry, Butler, and Kuminga, why do you remember that game where Will Richard played 31 minutes in place of Jimmy Butler and we beat the Charlotte Hornets?
I do.
And then he also had a stretch where he was averaging like 3 steals a game.
I do.
In a game like this, why does Will Richard only get 13 minutes?
Great question. I was thinking of that extensively tonight. I didn't understand Will Richard only playing 13 minutes, 6 seconds. I did not understand why Moses Moody only played 20 minutes and 15 seconds. I didn't get either of that. I don't understand why in this current scenario, why Steve Kerr keeps going with the strength and numbers bullshit. This is not the team for that. When your 3 best players are out, this rotation should be 8 deep. Like GP2 should not be getting minutes. Pat's look, and this is what makes it hard because, like, me personally, Brandon Podziemski should not be getting any minutes. Like I've said this before, and I'll say it again. And some people actually gave me a lot of shit for this. And on a night like tonight, they're going to be quiet. They're going to be mute because they know I'm right. I think Pat Spencer is a better basketball player than Brandon Podziemski. Pat Spencer tonight, 5 of 8 from the field, 3 of 4 from deep, 5 boards, 3 assists. Those 3 assists were still higher than Podziemski's. He had 13 points on the night. Why is Brandon Podziemski a favorite of Steve Kerr's? I don't get it. And I don't get the Will Richard.
You brought up a second point I wanted to point out. I don't think that there's a game this season where Pat Spencer and Brandon Podziemski have played similar minutes where Brandon Podziemski has outplayed Pat Spencer. So I'm talking about when Pat Spencer gets over 20 minutes, over 25 minutes, and they both are like neck and neck in the game.
Good take.
Pat Spencer consistently outshines Brandon Podziemski with the same minutes in the same game. And so all season we've dealt with the Kerr apologist, as you say, and saying, oh, well, they're role players or this, and this. And the person that decides rotations, that decides who gets to play is Steve Kerr. Yep. Cyrus has been telling you this. Armando's been telling you this. Anyone with Sharia, anyone with common sense has been telling you this. Because on a game like this, I've said some things like I'd rather have Tibbs as a coach because even though he might play players into the ground, he still plays the best players, and he understands I can't be playing the entire team, especially when my entire team are a bunch of second round picks, two-way players, and G League players. Here's another question for you, Cy.
And before you ask that, I just want to add Tom Thibodeau, a head coach who was so made for the 80s with his 8-man rotate. That's the one chink in his armor. He just has no respect for durability, for keeping players healthy. He'll just run you to the ground. But that's it, though. Besides that, I think he's a fantastic coach. The main reason why I don't think he's ever going to get another job in the NBA is because he is pushing 70. He looks damn good for a guy who's like 68 years old, but he is 68 years old. And individuals that age don't usually get opportunities to be a head coach, especially today with so much talent in the assistant coaching ranks vying for a head coaching position. But I feel you, man. I feel like Tom, the current Warriors, that's what they need. They need a Tom Thibodeau, just a no-nonsense guy who will look at a guy like Brandon Podziemski and go, get your ass to the end of the bench right now. And that's the end of the conversation. That's it. That's what Tibbs would do. Anyways, yeah. I started interrupting.
Yeah, anyone that's been a basketball fan for a long time, watching this team doesn't make sense. So I think anyone like over 25, I think the Kerr apologists in the chat are youngins that maybe this is the only iteration of basketball that they've seen. But for those who've been watching for a while, this is confusing. It's confusing that, like, for example, Buddy Hield, him and Moses Moody played the same position. What did Buddy Hield do tonight for Steve Kerr to say, you know what, he deserves 8 more minutes than Moses Moody? I didn't see it on the floor. I don't know if you saw it on the floor. Did Hield garner anything with his 4 for 11? Maybe it was maybe it was the 3 steals that he had. Maybe the fact that he was the only one to get to the line. But I didn't see anything that should say he's 0 for 4 for 3. Why is he playing 8 more minutes than Moody? It made no sense.
And by the way, Tuck in our chat, Tuck600, writing, every time I come to this chat, the main topic is Podziemski. It's not complicated, man. He gets the most minutes on a routine basis. Tonight, he wasn't number 1, but he was right up there. I mean, the minute distribution came down to Gui Santos, Draymond Green, and Pat Spencer. Each were in the 26-minute range. Approximately. I'll give you the specifics. Buddy Hield led the team in minutes tonight. 27 minutes, 32 seconds. 0-4 from deep, by the way. Make that make sense. And then following that, Gui Santos. His minutes I like. 26 minutes, 28 seconds. Pat Spencer incredibly played actually 50 seconds more than Podziemski at 26 minutes, 6 seconds. And then you get Brandon Podziemski at the 25 minutes and 16 seconds tonight. My point is he's always top 5. He's usually top 2 or 3. And most importantly, on the season, with Jimmy Butler now out for the year, guess who's number 2 on this team in minutes after Stephen Curry? That dude, Brandon Podziemski. If he doesn't play, we're not talking about him. Or if he plays and he plays well, we'll talk about him in a good light. But that doesn't usually happen because he doesn't usually play well. He usually plays like shit, and he's getting the most minutes. Why would we not talk about him? Tuck, what do you want to talk about? Tuck, enlighten us. What do you want to talk about? Since you don't want to, since you clearly like Podziemski, I'm guessing you're in your feelings about this. Most likely you're in your feelings about this, not because you like the kid, but because you don't want to admit you're wrong. One of the biggest blemishes of human nature is this insane stubbornness of so many to not be able to simply say, oh shit, I was wrong about that. My bad. That's all people have to do. And you move on. But most people in this world think they're smarter than they really are. They're too stubborn to admit they're wrong when they are. Case in point, Steve Kerr and Brandon Podziemski. You have a lot of fans who are just stubbornly dying on that hill instead of admitting what's clear in front of all of our eyes. The dude ain't a real player. He should not be second on any basketball team in minutes. It's absurd. Tuck, can I answer your question? And I'll shut up now, Julian. Go ahead.
I was going to say, Tuck, it's not just this chat. Any podcast with credentials of ex-players.
By the way, Julian, now he's writing in all caps. See, he's in his feelings, man. This has nothing to do with Podziemski and has everything to do with you just not wanting to be wrong about this, man. Grow up. Grow the F up. This goes for anyone in this world. Just because you're wrong about something does not mean you're an idiot. If anything, the smart people in this world actually will admit sometimes, I was wrong about this. The smartest people in the world, the message from them goes, I don't know a thing. How can any of us know anything in this world? We can't even explain what the hell existence is. We can't explain what the hell the universe is. Get out of your feelings, man, with the all caps bullshit. Podziemski ain't him, and that's okay. Admit you're wrong and move on. Julian, I apologize for
No. Like you're absolutely right. I was going to say that, Tuck, you need to expand your horizons because maybe you're listening to just 95.7.
Yes.
I hear a lot of bad things about them, or maybe even that stupid channel Warriors chat with the guy with the cross-eyed. He's always saying Kuminga sucks.
I don't know who that is. I don't know who you're talking about.
No, there's a channel called Warriors Chat, and
Warriors Chat.
Yeah.
On YouTube, you mean? Okay.
Yeah.
And I want to give 95.7 a little grace, simply because at least 95.7 they're not hiding the fact that they are media partners with the Warriors, and I've told people this repeatedly. That radio station, they're supposed to be selling the Warriors. You should not be trusting them in terms of like journalistic content. They're not trying to be fair and balanced. They're trying to be fans and make the fans feel good about this team. So I give them a little leeway on that front. I don't appreciate, when they pretend that they're acting like objective individuals. You're not. I mean, you're clearly propagandists for the Golden State Warriors, but I mean, look, they're a Warrior station. I have a little. Look at this guy. Look at Tuck.
Yeah.
Tuck is so in his feelings, Julian. Look at all the all caps. And just in case you're listening on the podcast, this individual Tuck, who's just so riled up right now, writing in all caps, y'all ass lame as F-bomb, dick riding, because y'all, baby boy, JK don't play as much as Pods.
Well, the thing is, if he did play as much as Pods in a game like this, he'll definitely give 25 points. And what I was going to say is that, whether it's FanDuel or Austin Reeves' podcast, Gilbert Arenas, anything that's outside of a paid, like you mentioned, a subsidy of let's keep it PC kind of a podcast, they all ask the same question. Pods is a topic when they bring up the Warriors. Why is Pods playing? Why is he starting? And the counter to that is, why is Jonathan Kuminga not playing? So it's not just Cyrus and his podcast, because any basketball minds that approach this, there's even a podcast called Baja with Raymond Felton, they all have the same dynamic subjects. Because
who's Felton's co-host? Because he's the one who really went off.
Yeah.
2 weeks back.
Okay, so it's the guy that actually started it. I don't know his name now, but he was a role player on the Mavericks. He didn't really he wasn't a star.
He's a former player. He still played in the NBA, right?
Former player. So it's actually his podcast, and then he brought on Charlie Villanueva and Raymond Felton as his co-host. And so, all of them have this. Because the reason why this is such a big topic, because you have two glaring issues on this team. You have a player that every time he gets in, he scores 30 points in 30 minutes over a course of 2 games, or he'll score 24 points against the second round playoff against one of the top teams, 55% shooting, 40% from 3, while Pods had the third worst playoff performance of all time. And the reason why it's such a glaring issue is because we see nights like this from Pods. And what did you say, Cy? He's 5 or 26 for 3 in his last few games?
In the last 4 games now, yeah. Or I don't remember how many games, but he came into tonight's game 3 of his last 21 from deep. And he went 2 of 5, that's 40%. So he boosted that a little bit. He's now 5 of 26. And by the way, look, Tuck in our chat, who's become like a temporary, he's getting his 15 minutes right now. But he wrote something, he wrote something that actually is accurate. I want to give him credit. When he writes something that I can actually agree with. Look, none of us is on Kuminga's payroll. That's just ridiculous. But he is Mr. Injury prone. That is one thing. And again, we need Kuminga to play to really figure out who he is. So far, man, I'm not pushing back hard on that. Durability has not been a strength of Kuminga so far. Tuck, now that you're calmed down a little bit, you're making some more sense again. But just stop with the pretending Podziemski's Brandon Podziemski on any other team would be at the end of the bench, dude. I don't know if he'd even get minutes on the Wizards. Do you think Brandon Podziemski would get minutes if he was playing for the Washington Wizards, or would Trey Jones take all of his minutes there?
I don't see any coach that's going to play Brandon seriously, especially after the sample size of 3 years that we've seen. And the only reason why Steve Kerr didn't play him the most minutes tonight is because this was a blowout win and for the other team. If this game were close, he would have definitely got the most minutes. And Sire, I want to ask you, did you see this play in chat? Feel free to talk about this play as well, because this summarizes some things I've seen from from pods throughout the year. There was a play where Moses Moody was wide open for an easy put in layup. Pods was on the the elbow three. Instead of just making the simple pass to Moody, Pods drove into the lane, went around Moody, stopped, then pump fake twice, and he did make the layup, but he drew two people to him that could have easily been a block or some kind of turnover.
Yeah.
So that right there is not real basketball. I don't know anyone in their right mind playing in the park or any kind of structure where you see a wide open person and you decide to drive around the person, stop, pump fake until two people come towards you. And those are things I've seen from Pods. People want to say that I think he's a selfish player, and this is not Pod's hate, because I also seen there's a fast break games ago where Kuminga was playing where he looked back at him and just decided to take a layup. And a similar play yesterday, Austin Reeves sees LeBron James. When you're Austin Reeves, you don't take a layup. You throw it off the back or you pass it back to LeBron James so the crowd can get involved. When you have Kuminga trailing you, your best athlete, when you have a dunker behind you, you pass that ball behind. You don't take a stupid little soft layup. That's how the game is. It's like an unwritten rule.
Julian, can you read? But can you see the screen right now? Because we got a pay chat, and it doesn't matter who reads it. I just wanted the message.
We non-dub fans think Pod sucks too. LOL. Let's say
there you go. Well, I don't get what Kerr sees in this guy. What feels most accurate is what a lot of people say, which is that Kerr sees himself in Podziemski, just a guy who does not have the physical tools. So he tries to make up for it with being Johnny Hustle, Johnny Tryhard out there. And it gets you, it can get you a certain distance, but hustle alone, if you don't have the physical gifts, is not going to result in a successful NBA career. Maybe John Stockton maybe is an exception, but I also think he was a bit of a freakish athlete too. He just didn't look the part. But I just don't get it. They're just like you said. I kept thinking of two players tonight. Every time I saw a Podziemski out there or Buddy Hield, who got a ridiculous run. Like, why did he only play 13 minutes, 6 seconds? Yeah, and then why did Moses Moody, who's been shooting it unbelievably lately, tonight included, 4 of 8 shooting from deep, why is he only getting 20 minutes? Well, what's going on there, man?
Will Richard should be the starter. His game complements starting level. Not that he's like an all-star type of thing, but the way he cuts, the way he defends, the way that he plays off others, he should be a starter. When you bring him off the bench as a limited 13 minute, he can't do much. He's the person that at the end of the game you say, oh, his impact is felt more than just the box score, because he just does the little things. And when Steve Kerr, he started Will Richard, we won the game, and then since he's like, nah, that's not going to work going forward. Like, what is wrong with you? But Sai, I want you to read that chat, but I do want to talk about more important things, like how the Warriors are possibly going to botch this trade deadline. But if you want to read that chat.
Well, which chat do you want me to read specifically?
Oh, no, you said Kerr was way better than Pods as a player, in my opinion.
Oh, well, the one I wanted you to read was a pay chat. I just try to highlight as many as I can that pop. Part of me is tempted. Like, I could also do this. I see these Twitch streamers do this a lot, and my platform lets me have this little box right there. I can't make the box bigger though. I don't know if that's and it kind of gets in the way of the screen. So I'd rather just highlight the ones that seem to pop the most. Oh, here's one, Julian. If you don't mind reading this one, another $2 donation. Thank you, Workman. Julian, take it away. if you don't mind.
Spencer only has 1 game left on his 2-way contract. And with that, I wish Spencer the best of luck, and I hope a team values him because I think everyone on this team deserves better.
Here's my question about that. I'm glad Wordman brought that up, and if someone in the chat can elaborate, because I thought the rule for 2-way players was 50 games, 5-0. And maybe I'm wrong on that. I thought that was the rule, though. I thought if you're a 2-way player, you're eligible for 50 games. Tonight represented Pat Spencer's 34th game. So what am I missing here?
They're probably counting how many games the Warriors have played, not Pat Spencer's individual games played. So he may be wrong about that.
But apparently a lot of people are wrong because Wordman is not the only one bringing that up. And I've been confused about that for a while. I'm like, what is going on where people keep saying like Pat Spencer's up against it? Because again, tonight represented game 34. I believe 2-way players can play 50. Regardless, he's not getting a contract like that. There's that's very wishful thinking. Do I personally think he deserves a guaranteed deal over Podziemski? Yes. But will he get that? No. It's probably not. Yeah,
well, I just brought up an article, and it seems that people are correct because the article Sporting News that he only had 2 games left. I want to see if there's anything that mentions him playing.
But it's important to know, like, Sporting News is no longer like the publication it once was. They're mostly just they're trying to do the clickbait thing. They're basically trying to do what Sports Illustrated is doing now, which is just a ton of just tiny little blogs, like 3-paragraph pieces, and just trying to get clicks. That's their model now. I would not necessarily rely on them for like objective, trustworthy information. Mm-hmm. With that said, I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. Like, does that story you're looking at explain why he only has 2 games left if he's only played 34, including tonight? I don't get it. Is what I'm trying to say.
It just pretty much says I'm trying with season over and 4 games, yada yada. Yeah, nothing about the length of a 2-way contract or why he only has 2 games left.
Yeah, I don't understand that. Someone in the chat also brought up that his brother Cam has been balling with Memphis. Correct. Yeah, his brother is an awesome basketball player. I like him, but I don't know why people are saying that. Multiple people in the chat are saying it is 50. So if it is 50, then why are people saying Pat Spencer is up against it when he's only played 34 games? I don't understand. Steph the GOAT is saying that it doesn't matter how many games they're
is it minutes?
What could be the case, and what Steph the GOAT is writing is the number of games that they're active. Okay. And so if that's the case, then he might be up against it. Meaning, like, if a player is active but doesn't get minutes, the box score will not reflect that being a game played, right? So the official stat keepers right now have Pat Spencer on the year playing 34 games. However, if he was active but did not actually get in the game for another 14, the NBA will count those toward the 50. So okay. So now at least we're getting some clarity here. Okay. So that's what's going on. Look, if Pat Spencer is up against it, it's nice knowing you, man. That's it. I don't know what's going to happen to him.
Yeah, I honestly think
he's not getting a guaranteed deal. I can promise you that. I mean, look, truth is, if Pat Spencer using up his 50 days is the excuse that Kerr needs to finally start giving LJ Cryer some run, I'm all for that, dude. Like, this team is going nowhere. So while I understand the Pat Spencer love, I get it. I'd rather have Pat than Brandon Podziemski, but at the same time, like, Pat Spencer is not going to be the difference between you being a playoff team and a play-in team, or a play-in team and a lottery team. He's not a difference maker, man. I love Pat, but the team is not going to give him a guarantee.
I think just the way the politics of the NBA works, because I think that Pat Spencer is better than a lot of players that have contracts, but because he went an unconventional route and he's not really part of the clique itself as far as players. And also I think he's pushing 30. He might not get another chance in the league. However, his life story is a success already.
Absolutely.
He's made a name for himself.
I think he's going to have a career in the NBA. I really do. He He is a backup point guard for sure. I don't know if he's a starting point guard, but look, man, it's not a diss to call someone a backup point guard if you could still get NBA contracts. And look, me personally, I would send Brandon Podziemski to Santa Cruz and give Pat Spencer a guaranteed deal. That's what I would do personally. I'm trying to just explain to everyone what's likely going to happen. I don't see the Warriors giving Pat Spencer a guaranteed contract at this point. I don't even know if they can afford it. They're so up against the cap with that. When they signed Seth Curry, like they were within like dollars of hitting that second apron. So I don't know if they even have the luxury of offering Pat Spencer a contract.
He might go overseas and ball out, or if he wants to stay in the league and kind of really make a name for himself, he is young enough to do it. Be a coach, be assistant coach someplace, and work your way up, and see if that can eventually get you a starting coaching job in a few years. Who knows? I think he has the grit. I think people do respect him, respect his work ethic, and I think he does come from a mold where coaches come from, where it's like, okay, I was good enough to play, but my mind is better than my body, so let me transfer that over to coaching. So we'll see about that, but yeah, I don't think the Warriors are going to give him another contract.
I don't either. What did you think before we let you go, Julian? What did you think about? We got Bad Ombre and Momo up. I'm still waiting for aim assist. I saw you in the chat for a brief moment, and then we lost you, but. What did you think about the trades today? In case you folks missed it, there were quite a few deals coming down. Among them, the most recent one was James Harden going to the Cavaliers for Darius Garland. To me, that is just a stupid-ass trade for the Cavaliers. Gab Gould, who was on this show last week, who's from Cleveland, she hated it. I don't blame her. What I can't understand even more so is if you're Cleveland, they gave up Darius Garland and a second-round pick, meaning that the Clippers were the one in that scenario who had leverage. That is some wild shit to me. Like,
that's I was gonna say I'll disagree mildly with that, because I believe James Harden's reputation has taken a hit, but his on the court play since he went to Brooklyn, really he has transitioned from trying to be the number one scorer or man to being a great facilitator. We forget that Embiid won an MVP with James Harden as his point guard. And
here's my thing, real quick, Julie. Here's my rationale for why I think this is an awful trade. You're getting James Harden was what, 36? Let me confirm that age real fast. He's no spring chicken, man. James Harden is up there. It's a minor miracle he's still putting up the kind of numbers that he's doing. But more importantly, you're absolutely right. James Harden puts up absurd numbers in the regular season. What I am not ignoring is what that dude does year after year after year for his entire career in the postseason, which is a vanishing act. When the playoffs come, that dude's a ghost. Poof. And I don't, and meanwhile, Darius Garland, I would not call him injury prone, first of all. He played, I think, 75 games last year. He has been dealing with these annoying injuries that are with his toes. He's having like turf toe issues, and that's not the kind of like injury pattern that would worry me, is what I'm trying to say. To me, the Clippers won that trade easily. You're getting a guy 10 years younger. You're getting a guy who still has a ceiling that has not been tapped yet. You're getting a guy that like 6 months ago was considered a premier point guard in this game, and now he had to have a second-round pick attached to him to get sent out. I'm with you. The regular season-wise, James Harden's the king, but the playoffs count. If anything, the playoffs is the real season.
Well,
and he doesn't do shit in the playoffs, man.
Well, the reason why I'm not going to hold the playoff record against him when it comes to the Cavs is because he's not going to have that pressure. Like, I think he still had it on the Clippers because he was still the 1B to Kawhi, but that whole team was injured. But he is on the Cavs. You have Mitchell holding the scoring and clutch burden. You also have Mobley and Allen, and also Harden. He makes big men better. He made Clint Capella better. Embiid, Zubac has a good his best career under Harden. So I think Harden next to Mobley and Allen is going to do some great damage. And I think for this year, I understand why the Cavs did it. But also my theory is that LeBron James is going to the Cavs next year. Ooh. And next year you'll have a lineup of Harden, Mitchell, LeBron, Mobley, and Allen if they don't trade Allen for a better piece. And when it comes to that, I can understand the Harden play because you're not asking Harden to show up as the go-to scorer of the playoffs or be there. I think he's there because he is a great facilitator. And even at 36, Harden is still guarded the same way that he was guarded in when he was on Houston. You could just watch a Warriors versus Clipper game. They're all running to Harden for his step backs. They're double teaming him. So I still think that if we kind of erase the memory of him coming up short in playoffs and understand, okay, now you're maybe the third going on fourth option offensively, and your job is to just be a facilitator and a big body out there. I think it can really work well for the Cavs, especially in such a weak East. I think you'll see a run with them. So I understand what you're saying, Cyrus, because his reputation is so bad, and he's always asking for trades to get out because he does think for himself. This is mostly contract based. I don't think the Clippers wanted to extend him, and so he's like, okay, get me to a team that I can win and get an extension.
Well, and Ramona Shelburne reporting that Harden never asked for a trade, which is contrary to at least the impression we were getting, which is that Harden wanted out. Apparently, it was the Clippers who wanted to move on. Again, look, I get it. I get it on paper. I get what Harden's done. He's a future Hall of Famer, former MVP. I get all that. All I'm saying is I see a guy in Harden who never plays defense, and I see a guy in Harden whose teams consistently for 15 years now underachieve in the postseason. The dude routinely vanishes when he's needed most. I'm not going to ignore what happened in Game 7 last year. I'm not going to ignore what happened in Game 7 of the 2018 Western Conference Finals. Every time the pressure is turned up to the max, that dude wilts. Now, with that said, if what you're saying in regards to Cleveland maybe having a bigger plan here, or maybe this is something that they're doing to acquiesce Donovan Mitchell. I mean, that's the part of it that I'm thinking too, is maybe Spider went to the team and was like, I don't want to play with this dude anymore. This is not working out. And they're so worried about losing Donovan Mitchell or having an unhappy Donovan Mitchell that maybe it was a move like that. But me personally, as a Warriors fan, I'd rather have the Clippers with James Harden than Darius Garland. Like, I don't want the Clippers getting younger and faster. I don't like that. I was a lot more comfortable with the Clippers when they had James Harden than I do with Darius Garland. But that's just me. I don't know.
Here's a big question, and there's no rumors about this, but would you trade Butler's contract and a first-round pick for Kawhi Leonard this year? And try to go with Steph Curry, Kawhi, Draymond, and whatever else we have.
So one more. So you're what you're proposing is Jimmy Butler and the first round pick in next year's draft for Kawhi straight up.
Well, to say in a year, just a first, and because
well, that's important though, because if the Clippers are asking for let's say a 2030 or 2028 first round pick, that's worth a hell of a lot more than a first round pick in next year's draft, largely because if you make this trade and you're the Warriors, you're not a lottery team. You're actually contending. So you have the luxury of letting that pick go. The Warriors are being very protective of the picks beyond next season because what they know, or what they're aware of at least, is a Warriors team without Stephen Curry could be lottery bound year after year while they're rebuilding. And those picks carry a shitload of value. The 2026 first rounder for the Warriors, that thing will likely fall somewhere in 15, maybe 20. And it's a lot easier to give that up. So with that said, if the trade is Kawhi and for Jimmy Butler and a 2026 first, hell yeah, I'm doing that. 100%.
Yeah, because it just popped to me like today. I'm saying, okay, well, if the Clippers are offloading and they're saying, okay, well, we're not going to go anywhere. I think Kawhi still has a few years, but it hasn't worked out. If the Warriors, botch on all the trades, I think Kawhi would be more than a great substitute for what Butler gave us, because Kawhi would be 28 points per game, leading the league in steals, also leading the league in free throw percentage, and still a better defender than Butler currently. So if we felt that we were contenders or we are right in the mix with Butler, replacing him with Kawhi might do something. But overall, in the and again, that's not a rumor, but I feel like it could make sense. But overall, I feel that the Warriors are kind of going to be like the new Knicks, where they're trying to wait for the biggest swing. And as you saw today, many trades went down. Like, for example, Jaren Jackson Jr., where a lot of things are going to, I guess, go past the Warriors because they're waiting for Giannis. And so they missed out on JJJ because it seems like it didn't take much to get him. I think the trade for him was
3 first-round picks.
I think it was to his value. I think if Mikal Bridges and that Rudy Gobert and other trades really set the market for what trades would be, because they didn't deserve 4 to 5 first-round picks. But hey, if you say JJJ 3 and you point to those past trades, then I think that makes a bit sense. Also, Vucevic, I think Anthony Simons is a good role player, but he was pretty much swapped for a second-round pick. I say we could have needed him if Butler was healthy, but Butler's injury changes what we can do. And if we're waiting around for Giannis, and I was feeling the excitement about the reports, but the closer we get to Thursday, the less confident I am. I'm at like less than 5% now of getting Giannis, just because when the reports first came out, it was, this makes the most sense. But the more you think about it with Steve Kerr as coach and watching this team play, and the fact that we're coming up to that Thursday deadline, and also, one thing happened today, that the Minnesota Timberwolves, Bane for 4 first-round picks too. Yeah, that's why
Memphis is quietly stockpiling, man. And Utah had the luxury of being able to afford just throwing 3 picks away like that. Because of how much they've stockpiled over the years, it was almost like a move where it's like, what are we going to do with all these picks, right? We might as well do something. Don't be surprised, though. I know some people love Jaren Jackson Jr. I personally would not have hated if the Warriors ended up making a move for him, but don't be surprised if that turns into just another John Collins. I mean, when Houston got John Collins, people forget, like, Collins was part of that Hawks team that went to the Eastern Conference Finals with Trae Young. And very different type player than Jaren Jackson, obviously. But my point is, it's very easy to go to Utah and just quickly just blend and fade away into purgatory there, because it's Utah, man. Now look, if Keontae George does evolve and emerge as a star player, maybe they got something cooking there. But the rebounding numbers were a flag. I don't know, man. Jaren Jackson Jr. would have been great. In terms of the Warriors, I don't feel like they missed out on much. Like 3 picks is a lot. They were never going to give that up for him. But
and a small market team, they have to overpay for free agents anyway. So I believe it's a great trade for the Jazz, and we'll see what they're going to come back next year. Ken Mambo, he wants to talk about the possible Plan B. Honestly, it's Plan B is looking very bleak for the Warriors right now, because when Butler was healthy, I would say a Plan B is AD. But as of right now, I would say the best case scenario, if we get nothing, is keep JK and play him 35 minutes to 40 minutes, which Steve Kerr won't do because he still wants to rotate 13 guys for some reason. But I would say see what the kid got for 30 games at that. We've seen it before, but why the hell not? But as to making this team better, I only wanted MPJ if Butler was healthy. Right now, there's no point of getting MPJ if we don't have 2 stars to anchor that. And Draymond seems to be losing. I was surprised Draymond played tonight, because he never has interest in playing when there's no possibility of winning, really. Mm-hmm. He always like, is Curry out or Butler's out? I'll be out. And I think that's why he had a bad game, because what's really the point of because he's that scrapper guy, so why put his body on the line? And I think Armando said in one of his when he joined with you that the tanking starts now, and so we see like teams like the Bulls that were close to playoffs or seeding and playing, but now they're starting their tank. And the Warriors, someone in the chat mentioned, I forgot who it was, so shout out to whoever that is. You can take credit. They said the Warriors are playing 8 tanking teams going forward in the rest of the season. So just like last year, if the Warriors start to do good, it's because we're playing a bunch of tanking teams. They're offloading a lot of their talent.
That might be true, but if they have 8 tanking teams remaining, it's going to be surrounded by a lot of damn good teams. Here, I'll look up the schedule right now, because at least as of a week ago, and a stat like this changes with time, but like most stats, I guess. But the Warriors had the 4th most difficult remaining strength of schedule. This was about a week ago. And so if we look at the schedule now, the Warriors with loss tonight, they dropped to 27 and 24, which means there's 31 games remaining on the schedule. I'll run through this. Here's what's left for the Golden State Warriors: at Phoenix Thursday, at the Lakers, home against Memphis, that's one of the tanking teams, home against the Spurs, home against the Celtics, home against the Nuggets, at New Orleans, tanking team 2, at Memphis, tanking team 3, hosting the Lakers, hosting the Clippers, at the Rockets, at the Thunder, at the Jazz. I don't know if the Jazz are a tanking team. We'll say for the sake of argument they are. This 4. They host the Bulls. I don't know if they're a tanking team. We'll say for the sake of argument 5. Hosting the T-Wolves, at the Knicks, at the Wizards, at the Celtics, at the Pistons, at the Hawks, at the Mavericks, hosting the Nets, hosting the Wizards, at the Nuggets, hosting the Spurs, hosting Cleveland, hosting Houston, hosting the Sacramento Kings, hosting the Lakers, at Sacramento, at the Clippers to wrap it up. So of those 31, I counted 11 bad teams, whether those are whether you can classify those as tanking, but there's 20 where those games will not be easy. 20 of the remaining 31 against good teams. Yeah. 11 against bad teams. Your thoughts?
Well, I'll just say that this game was very discouraging for me because just because of the rotation.
Yes.
Like our players are being exposed. Like Gui is being exposed in a good way where he's better than what he was advertised, and Pod's is getting exposed. And if this is the team going forward, I think someone said that either was Kerr stated that he's comfortable with this roster moving forward. This roster is terrible. It's like the rotations are disgusting. The best players are not getting their minutes. Like no way Buddy Hield should have 8 more minutes than Moody. And so going forward, even playing 11 bad teams, I think that the discouragement in the veterans is going to set in. So say Draymond Green and Steph Curry stay on this team, they're not going to be excited to play the final second half of this season. So you're going to see very inexplicable losses due to Kerr decisions, due to Draymond Green not feeling it, due to like Curry maybe just tired. And we don't want Curry to get hurt. So I hope Armando's prediction does not happen. And but yeah, I'm not. Unless something major happens, I'm excited to see the rest of the next 2 days because John Morant is definitely getting traded. I want to see where he's going to go. I want to see if
someone wants him. I mean, that's always the part that needs to happen as well. It's like there has to be another team that's actually interested. Right now, I have no clue who wants Ja.
Well, apparently the chat wants you to watch. I'll get someone else on. Maybe you can watch the Draymond Green post.
I'm looking for that right now. We're going to start. Julian, have a great night, brother. Thank you as always.
The last thing I'll say is that if Curry has runner's knee, maybe we shouldn't have an offense where he runs the most miles in a game than anyone else in the league. That's all I said. Thank you. Bye.
That's fantastic. And again, if Steve Kerr's worried about the pressure on Stephen Curry, you better if Kuminga comes back. And again, Tuck in her chat, I thought was very accurate in terms of questioning Jonathan Kuminga's durability when he comes back. If he comes back, I mean, we have no idea if he's going to be part of the team, but if he does, I mean, Steve Kerr better play him, man. I mean, it's pretty wild that Kerr's worried about the pressure on Steph's shoulders while simultaneously surrounding him with mediocre talent who can't play make, who can't score, who can't do jack shit to help Steph out. I'm looking for the Draymond Green press conference. I'm sure it'll be available somewhere soon. But for now, why don't we listen to Steve Kerr after tonight's game? This press conference is available. It is online. And yeah, this was right after tonight's game. Here is Warriors head coach Steve Kerr.
Steve, what do you feel like went wrong in the second half after the competitive first half?
Well, I mean, they got every offensive rebound. That was the story of the game, and 24 offensive boards. And then we turn it over 20 times. There's no way you can win a game losing the possession battle like that. I mean, they got 15 more field goal attempts than us, and 19 more free throws. So just the lack of physicality. I was disappointed with the overall effort. That was it was not a game that we can repeat for sure. We got to bring the juice, bring the energy, and bring the collective competitive spirit necessary to win a game.
We talked before the game about the trade talk. Do you think that atmosphere might have led to this performance?
Maybe. I don't know. I do think that, the NBA season is it's 82 games and you can almost feel the ebbs and flows. When you coach a team, when you're part of a group, you can almost predict when things are going to go well and when they're going to go poorly. Just overall health, mood, vibe. And so this was not a good vibe for us tonight. And doesn't matter, what the trade chatter is. I mean, it's everyone's job to come and bring the energy, bring the fight. It was the whole point of tonight. They're on a back-to-back. We haven't played in 3 days. We're going to come out and bring the juice. We're going to take the fight to them. And first 5 minutes, we had, guys turning it over, not running back, sulking. It's like, no, it's about competing. It's competing for 48, for 82 games. You have to establish that. And that's the most disappointing thing about tonight's game for me is I didn't feel that like I needed to feel it, like we need to feel it as a group.
Steve, to go off that, how do you change that going into Thursday's game? How do you make sure there's not a repeat of this kind of effort on Thursday?
That's their job. So that's what they have to do.
Steve, you mentioned over here, you mentioned effort, as in you didn't think they were putting out enough effort, and also was focus, you think, an issue?
Well, a lot of turnovers, a lot of just weird turnovers, didn't feel like most of them were forced, So it's one of those games where nothing went right, but when you're missing, your best scorers, that's kind of what I'm talking about. You have to make up for that with a collective competitiveness, and you can't sulk. You can't feel sorry for yourself. I just thought I don't think it was like the effort, like they weren't trying. I think it was just I didn't sense a competitive spirit, and that has to change.
First half, you guys hung in there, though. And
Yeah.
in the second half, it kind of fell apart.
Yeah, we came back. I didn't like the start of the game, and then we hung in there. We fought. It was a 3-point game at the half, I think, and we just couldn't score to start the second. I have to reevaluate the lineup. Obviously, that group to start the game and the second half couldn't score. So we won't start the same way next game. We've got to make some changes there. And there's a lot to assess, with Steph out, Jimmy out. We're going to have to sort through some of these combinations and rotations.
Pat Spencer's right at that 50-game limit. Have you guys? What have the conversations sort of been around that?
Well, he's aware. His agent's aware. We're aware. So, yeah, we'll see where it goes with the trade deadline and see what happens. But if there's no trade, then obviously he's out of games.
All right, that's Warriors head coach Steve Kerr addressing. I cannot believe he actually said he needs to look at the lineups. Like, what are you doing, man? What's going on here? We're so desperately in need of new leadership. Now, I'm still looking for the full Draymond Green press conference because our chat is lit up with folks saying that we need to check it out. The only clip that I've found so far is from Anthony Slater, and I haven't looked at the socials fully yet, but I like to go there last just because the audio quality is typically crap. With that said, all I could find so far is Anthony Slater's tweet with the video. So let's listen to Draymond Green. Actually, before I do that really quickly, Bad Hombre, you've been waiting a long ass time. Forgive me. And if we can listen to this together if we want, but how are you doing? What's on your mind?
I'm good. Yeah, we can listen to the clip and I'll say what I have to say.
All right. You stick around with me. Here is this again. This is courtesy of Anthony Slater during tonight's post-game press conference. Draymond Green, who supposedly is being involved in trade talks. I know Steve Kerr said something tonight during pregame, giving some speech about separation of powers in regards to him not having a role as a GM. Utter bullshit, side note. That dude just says whatever the hell is on his mind to make himself look and sound better. He 100% is involved in nearly every transaction, which is one of many reasons why this team desperately needs to move on. But he did bring up Draymond as being in trade talks, which is kind of crazy. And my suspicion is the conversation was had because if the Warriors were to get Giannis, Dre might be the sacrificial lamb in that. Maybe that's what Milwaukee's asking for. Maybe that's the only way to make it all look good on paper. Maybe, I mean, I doubt it, but who the hell knows? Maybe Giannis is asking for this, right? Who knows? But that's what Steve Kerr said. He said that Draymond's name is in trade talks. Take that for what it's worth. And this was Draymond tonight after the game, courtesy of Anthony Slater. Turn the volume up on your devices, please, so you can actually hear Dre. Can we see him? Yeah. Oh, I got to make it like that so I don't get flagged. Here is Draymond Green.
But, I think a lot of people want to know, like, how I feel about it. Like, am I upset about it? Or, like, I'm not at all. Like, I don't. If that's what's best for this organization, that's what's best for the organization. I'm not, like, oh, man, they fucked me over or something like that. Like, I don't really feel that way. If you would have told me 13 and a half years ago, like, yo, I'm going to hand you this sheet of paper and you can sign it to be in a place for 13 and a half years, would you sign it? And I would have signed it faster than you can blink. So what do I have to sit and worry about? What do I have to, like, be upset about? Like, I've been here for 13 and a half years. That's longer than probably 98% of NBA players have been in one place. And this guy from Saginaw has been in a place for 13 and a half years. I don't know that it ends at 13 and a half, but if it does, what a fucking run it's been. I'll take the fine for it. What a fucking run it's been. So that's just how I feel, and I don't sleep well after games. So if I lose sleep tonight, I promise y'all it's not because I think I'm getting traded. I just don't really sleep well after game. But yeah, I'm blessed. I'm lucky. I'm grateful. Like I said, my family has not had to move anywhere since I started my family. That's incredible. I don't take that for granted. It's guys that have been on the move every year, moving their family 2-3 times in a year. So I have so much gratitude for where I am in my career, the run that I've been on here. And like I said, I don't know that it is or whatnot. I don't. We'll all see. But if it does, it does. You know, all good things must come to an end at some point.
Sad but true. That is very sad, and yet very true. All good things do come to an end. One of the harshest realities of life. Now, with that said, Draymond being traded. It's one of those things where I'll believe it when I see it, because for the simple reason, this is Stephen Curry's boy. If Draymond gets traded and it's not for Giannis, if Draymond is, let's say, traded, because the most logical thing I could think of, if you're going to trade Draymond Green and it's not for a superstar player to pair with Steph, the next most likely scenario and the logical step would be to trade him for picks. Like find a team that feels like he's the missing piece, swap them, and get as many assets as you can for the future. That's what would make the most sense. Nothing. With that said, the Warriors rarely make decisions these days that make sense. But I still don't think he's going to get moved. Ombre, what did you think about that clip with Draymond sounding very professional, saying all the right things, expressing gratitude for his nearly 14 years with the Warriors?
It sounded like he knew he was out of there.
Maybe.
It was almost like a goodbye speech.
It sounded like that, yes. Who knows?
I don't want the Warriors to make a trade. I actually think they'll be okay. I know you all think I'm tripping, but once JK
No, I don't think so. I get. Let me see. Let me try and read your mind here in terms of understanding what you're trying to say. Because what I feel, and people might think I'm a little crazy too, is if you put the worst players on this team at the end of the bench and you play your best players in chronological order from best to worst, I think they got a shot. I don't know if I can say they got a shot at a title, but they got a shot at making some real noise, man. And what I mean by that is, hypothetically speaking, let's say your starting five is Steph, Moody, Kuminga, Draymond, Big Al, right? And then your bench is Melton, Will Richard, Gui Santos. I still don't understand why Trace Jackson Davis is getting all the DNPs, but let's say he comes back. Quentin Post, I imagine, has a role on this team. I'm still fascinated to see what Malachi Leons brings to the table. He looks more like an NBA player than literally anyone else on this team currently. So you couple that with the system, which to me has not been the issue for the most part. I'd be fascinated to see what comes of that, because Stephen Curry's still Stephen Curry. What I don't like is Podziemski getting a long run. What I don't like is GP2 taking minutes from Kuminga or other young players. What I don't like is Buddy Hield taking minutes from other players. I also do think you could actually pull off a trade where it's just Podziemski and Buddy. Like, I'm a little surprised they're not pursuing that avenue, because if Podziemski has value, I imagine you get something for him. I think Buddy Hield still has value, given he has a $3 million buyout after the season, and he does still have gravity, and there's a lot of teams out there desperate for shooting. You would think you could get something, even if it's just like a second-round pick. Shit, just get those players off your roster. Then you could give Pat Spencer a guaranteed deal, keep them. We could start seeing what LJ Cryer is made of. We could see what Malachi Leons is made of. We could see what Kuminga looks like with 35 minutes a game. We can see what Will Richard looks like with 30 minutes a game. I'm riveted by that. I would love to see how that looks. And I don't think that would be a bad team. I think that team could make a run for the 6th seed. I really do. Call me crazy, fair, but I believe that. What are your thoughts?
No, that's what I was saying too. The key is Steph and Kuminga, because I looked this up. In 2024, for 10 games, they were the highest scoring duo in the NBA. And they went like 6-4, but for some reason, Kerr went away from it. He said, nope, it's not working. It didn't feel right. So he went with the Let's just go back to this system and have Steph run 3 miles a game. If they keep JK and then run the offense through him, Steph can hit an easy 30 every night.
Easy.
Effortlessly. But for some reason, Kerr wants to go with the, run the 3 miles and blah, blah, blah. So I don't know. I think with another coach, if we kept that same team and we got a new coach, we can make a very deep run. Western Conference Finals.
Why is Al Horford not being traded unless he has zero trade value? Like why are we talking about Draymond being traded? Unless, like, I don't know. I will need to see it to believe it. Tomorrow is going to be the last full day before the trade deadline. I don't know.
I don't see, like, he had no rebounds tonight. But the weird part with Kerr, he doesn't really want his centers like under the boards, like a Jokic or a Derlin. He wants his centers to just jack threes. So in Kerr's mind, he did a good job. That's the only way I can think of it.
Real quick, while Bad Omre's connection there is shot for a brief second. Interesting stat I just came across, courtesy of Automatic NBA on Twitter, writing that the Warriors tonight became the first team in NBA history with both 30 or less 2-point attempts and 10 or less free throw attempts in the same game. Meaning the Warriors had zero presence inside the 3-point line. They got outscored in the paint by 24 points, but that is a crazy stat. 30 or less 2-point attempts. So the Warriors tonight, for 37 of 78 from the field, 19 of 48 from 3. So you take out the 3-point attempts, and that leaves you with the Warriors going 18 for 30 from 2, which is not bad. That's over 50%. But it's the 30 attempts that set the record. And then the free throws, that's egregious. The Warriors had literally, for the entire game, 1 trip to the free throw line. For the entire game. And I know the refs were calling a very loose game. Like they were swallowing the whistle on a lot of possessions. They wanted these guys to just be out there playing. Side note, Philly did go to the free throw line a bunch. They had 21 free throw attempts. While the Warriors literally had 2 from 1 trip to the line by Buddy Hield, who was 1 for 2 from the free throw line. That is crazy. I've never in my life seen a stat like that.
But doesn't that prove that the system doesn't work?
Yes, of course.
And
I know Steve Kerr wants to blame like the effort from the team tonight, but take a look in the mirror, man. And I know he said he's going to look at lineups, but it's like, we're 52 games into the season, and you're looking at lineups again for this is like the 4th year of this shit. It's so exhausting. I cannot wait. I really can't. I'm so elated for a future with the new head coach, man. New leadership. I'd love to see even Steph get at least a year under a new coach, just to see what some variety and you know a diverse approach to coaching them, what that would look like. I'm riveted.
Too bad they can't make a change this year, because they could make a deep run.
Brandon Pumsky is what here Ben Israel right center chat. Let me try to see if I can enunciate that properly. Brandon Pupsky. Anyways, Omri, how are you doing, man? You good?
Yeah, I'm really good. Thanks for asking. Great show as always. I'll just sit back and listen. February's going to be I don't know. It seems like they're going through a gauntlet. So we'll see what's going to happen. Because these other teams are coming. Portland is coming. The Clippers are coming. So they're going to have to get it together.
What did you think about the trade deadline today? To recap, I feel like we missed one trade. There was at least one other trade that we didn't talk about. Let me see if I can find that, because we talked about the Jaren Jackson Jr. trade where he went to Utah. We talked about the trade Darius Garland, James Harden. We didn't talk about Nikola Vucevic going to the Celtics for Anthony Simons. And Vooch has been on the radar of Warriors fans, the Warriors themselves, for a long-ass team. But unfortunately, the Warriors, I don't know, basically seeing Anthony Simons be the player that convinced Chicago to give up Vooch makes me wonder, would Moses Moody have been enough? Would you want to give up Moody for Vooch? I wouldn't hate that trade if that's what it came down to. Anthony Simons, clearly, like, the Bulls were not asking for a lot. What were your thoughts on that? Because I feel like Vooch would have been perfect on the Warriors.
Yeah, most definitely. There was one more trade. I think it was like a 3-team. Detroit traded some.
Yes.
So I don't know. It just seemed like when that first trade went down, we just started getting other teams willing to make deals. So today should be very interesting.
Well, if I'm gonna try and read tea leaves, the last trade we haven't talked about that went down today, as you mentioned, Ombre, a 3-team trade involving Chicago, Minnesota, Detroit. Jaden Ivey and Mike Conley went to the Bulls, and Mike Conley is going to get bought out. And I love multiple people on socials today joking about Mike Conley being exactly the center that the Warriors have desperately needed. And that's could you imagine that if they actually did that? Warriors' big move this season, they signed Mike Conley. And yet I would not be shocked if that happened, because that's how insane things have been with the Warriors. But all kidding aside, so those two players go to the Bulls, Jaden Ivey and Mike Conley. Kevin Huerter and Dario Saric go to the Pistons. And then the Pistons made a first-round swap pick with Minnesota as well. And the implication here, because Minnesota did not get anything back, is they're maybe clearing cap space to try and get Giannis.
Yeah.
And truth is, man, like, if you're Giannis and your goal is the best team that could give you the highest odds of winning a title, to me, it's easily Minnesota, at least in the teams that are actually vying for him. I still cannot believe the Rockets are not aggressively pursuing him. To me is one of the dumbest things an NBA franchise could do. The Rockets have a stockpile. They've got like a Utah Jazz level stockpile of picks, and they have so many assets on that team. Like, you can't offer like 5 first-rounders and like Jabari Smith. Like that. Like, I do not understand what Houston is doing at all. Like, you have a window now. You make a trade for Giannis now, you are likely winning the title, and you're not going to do it. You think you're too good for that? Like,
Giannis and KD. I don't know.
NBA, man. But Minnesota, the idea of pairing Anthony Edwards with Giannis, man, that's
scary.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's very scary. Definitely Western Conference Finals, possibly win the chip.
I think they do win the chip if they do that, because Minnesota already actually challenges the Thunder. I think they beat them at least once during the regular season this year. They played each other in the Western Conference Finals last year. I think if the T-Wolves make that trade and they're not giving up the farm in the process, meaning like they're not gutting their roster and their depth, I think they're winning the chip this year. I do.
Yeah,
because of Anthony Edwards, which would, side note, just be another huge pie splatter to the face of Steve Kerr, who infamously said that Anthony Edwards does not have the work ethic needed to play for the Golden State Warriors.
My goodness.
Ass.
And he said he went with Wiseman, and we see, maybe Steve Kerr just doesn't like athletic players. Maybe he has like a set type, which is kind of weird.
He's just not good at evaluating talent. Period.
Yeah.
That's just not his cup of tea, man. Like, roster construction, like communicating with players. Huge part of it is he's just lazy as F. Like Steve Kerr's the guy who is not the workaholic sleeping on his couch in the office. That's not how he rolls, man. He's all about being laid back and going with the flow, bro, and all that stuff. And And that's why he's not cut out to be a GM, is because if you're going to be a successful GM in the NBA, you got to be married to your job. Like that's got to be. I don't know how you can be a family man and be a GM at the same time. That's a challenge. But anyways,
so like I said, I just hope they don't make any moves. Just tweak some things with the offense, make a deep run. And I hope Draymond doesn't get traded. They did Clay wrong, first of all. They should have kept Clay. Don't get rid of Draymond.
Well, and the Clay part of it, at the time, it made sense because his skill set was deteriorating and he was no longer that guy, but not for pods.
Yeah,
like, if
that's
I'd
what
known in hindsight that they wanted to like denigrate Klay Thompson in terms of salary, stature, turning him into a bench player for Podziemski, like that. Like at the time, I didn't know that's what the plan was. I didn't know like Podziemski is who Steve Kerr viewed as the next, coming of greatness. That was dumb in hindsight.
The only person that should have took Clay's spot was Jordan Poole, in my opinion, because Jordan Poole was balling it. Yep. I could have seen that if they said, "Okay, well, Jordan Poole, Clay, can you come off the bench?" I could see that, but not Pods. He didn't do anything. He hustled and took charges. So what?
Yeah, and Hamza in the chat saying, that Clay had an ego and was tired of us. But with that said, again, the ego, whatever negative light you see from Clay because of what transpired before he left, it was entirely because of Podziemski. And look, if I'm Klay Thompson and I've done all this, I've achieved all this success for the Golden State Warriors, I'm a splash brother. And you're sitting here telling me that Brandon Podziemski is the reason why you want to pay me less and move me to the bench. I don't blame him at all.
Yeah.
At all. Dude, Podziemski is not him, man. That was wild. Crazy. Anyways.
Okay. Yeah. Jordan Poole, I could have seen that, but definitely not Pods. Okay. I'm just gonna sit back and listen. Great show as always.
Do you think, before you go, Hombre, we still to this day do not know who leaked that video? I was randomly thinking about that today. It's just crazy to me. This happened in 2022, right? The summer of 2022. It's approaching 4 years now. I still think. Do you think Jordan Poole is who was behind it?
That's my suspicion. But he already signed his contract.
No, he didn't.
He didn't.
No, and that's a huge reason why I've always suspected that Poole had something to do with it. I mean, the pride factor. You got cold cocked in a practice, and that cannot feel good. So you're irate about that. And then you're in the middle of contract negotiations with one of the most shrewdest, is that a word? One of the most shrewd negotiators on the planet, Joe Lacob. I mean, all it did was benefit Jordan Poole because he got a 4-year, $120 million contract out of that. Yeah, and Apollo God in the chat saying, of course. But
okay. I thought he signed the contract, but if he did it afterwards, then yeah, I definitely could see him doing that.
Wordman is saying Bob Myers leaked it. No, what would Bob get out of it for leaking that video? Bob's a good dude. I like Apollo. I really think it was. If you're gonna follow the money, which is what you're taught in journalism, to find the answers, it's gonna go to Jordan Poole. But who the hell knows? Who knows? Alrighty, Hombre, great to hear from you, brother. Always.
Okay. All right. Have a good one. Okay.
Thank you. Bad Hombre. Is there any more sound? Is that it? Was it just Draymond and Kerr? Usually you get 3 players showing up for press conferences. Let me check real fast the wire. See if any other sound has come down. Ramona Shelburne, who we hope to have on the show during the All-Star break of ESPN, tweeting out that She just spoke to a reflective James Harden who denied asking for a trade and thanked the Clippers for the opportunity to play the last 2.5 years in his hometown. Okay. I want to see if there's any other sound. We already played the Draymond cut. We heard from Steve Kerr. Is that it? Did Gui Santos also say something? Yeah, Guy talked to the media. Let's listen to Guy, and then we'll bring Memo on the show, and then start to wrap up the show. Oh, we got some emails as well. So, but let's listen to Gui Santos, who had a good game tonight. I love Gui Santos tonight. 5 of 7 from the field, 3 of 5 shooting from deep. Added 2 boards, 3 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. That was a complete game for him. 13 points. I love Guy. He's one of many reasons why I feel optimistic about this Warriors team if they stand pat. Meaning, if plan B is play Kuminga, I know some of you think I'm crazy. I get that. I actually like this roster and this team, provided Podziemski, GP2, Buddy Hield are pushed at the end and are DNP'd. Do that. Let's just see it. Please. Let's see it. Here is, I don't know, we're not going to see it because got an obtuse individual as their head coach. Here is Gui Santos, Gui.
Guy, Steve seemed to be frustrated with the lack of competitive spirit. Can you feel that out there tonight?
Yeah, I would say that we could do better for sure. Our team gave up 25 offensive rebounds. I don't think that we fighting enough. We should be playing harder. We should have been fighting more on the court, and the rest, making shots out there gonna come, but I think the most important for us right now, we gotta keep fighting. Even sometimes we don't have Steph, we don't have our main players out there. We gotta still fighting, and I don't think we did that tonight.
After a game like this, what do you sort of do as a team to rebound from this game? Like, are there things you guys talk about, or what sort of do you do?
I think we just talk about it. We watch film. I feel like we can talk about that every day, but we should start showing that on the court. Just talking about that, and that's the most important thing for me. Because you can talk about that, watch film, but if we don't go out there and play hard, and we hit somebody, if we see somebody going to offense rebound and we just let him grab it, hit him and push him away, I think we just got to start doing that, and that's most important thing right now.
Do you think that lack of competitive spirit comes from not having Jimmy and Steph, or does it come from maybe the chatter and uncertainty about the trade deadline, or where do you think that is rooted?
It's hard it's hard to say. I think it's not from all the trade talk, all the all that. I think it's more, we just gotta have that. Sometimes, of course, if you go to the game and you see, okay, we don't have Steph, it's kind of different. It's a different mentality, because when you have Steph out there, it's way easier. Everything is way easier to do, because everybody's so worried about him. So I think, without Jimmy, Steph, of course, can be one of the factors, but I think that we cannot let that happen anyway.
Steve talked about you guys. It was tough for the first unit to score out there in the beginning of the game, and then to open the third quarter. Was Philly doing anything special to make it tough on you guys tonight, or where was the lack of offensive production coming from?
I think I start on defense. When we don't, we playing defense, they miss a layup, and they grab the offensive rebound and they score. That make us that make it harder for us go to the offense and score because we're not running. We don't have the momentum, you know. So everybody, we cannot have like what cannot happen now is like they got the offense rebound, they finish. Everybody look now. Everybody that's cannot happen. So I think that was one of the factors that made us like don't score well tonight.
All right, that's Gui Santos, aka Gui. And I believe that is it for sound tonight. Let's welcome Memo to the chat. Memo, how are you doing? You're muted, just in case.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Well, all I had to say, like the last caller, I think he was mentioning that.
Just wake up, dude. What are you doing, man? You sound like you're in bed, like you were napping. You're right.
Oh no, it might just be my like my AirPods.
Okay, no, you sound tired personally. You're doing okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
All right.
But I don't know if
Again,
it's
the
just,
Warriors are depressing. I feel you on that, if that's what's going on. Go ahead, brother. I'll shut up. What's up?
Yeah, anyway. In terms of like the whole Giannis saga that's been going on with the trade rumors, like I think it's kind of crazy that it's been like 7 years of this in terms of them just wanting to get Giannis. And then now it's just like he doesn't like quite want to be here. Like, and there's like so many conflicting reports. I think it's just a waste of time personally. Like, I don't think he's gonna like even be dealt. But that's my personal opinion.
No, it's a good opinion. It's a look, Memo, as I'm sure you and and most of you in the audience know, timing is a vital variable. It's such an important piece for any puzzle in life, right? And it's out of our control for the most part. The timing just never added up, man. Like Giannis 3 years ago, I think would have been perfect, but the Bucks didn't want to let him go. You know, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, and then like currently this team, we're basically just pre-Jimmy, like all over again, which is hilarious. And then like in terms of any moves that we can make, like I don't know what can change this roster personally. And that's what's like depressing about it. Like I don't see any other option really out there.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people talk about AD. I saw a report saying that they wanted AD and Wiggins. I have no idea how that'll even happen.
Well, AD
and-
would be just for Jimmy Butler straight up, but yeah, that's not happening.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it probably won't happen. And then in terms of the contracts that we do have, like with Jimmy, like it's a lot of money, man. You know, tonight Steph and Jimmy, obviously Jimmy's out the entire season, Steph's out, and you see the rest of the roster, and it's pretty bleak. You know what I mean? Like the future of the team, like once Steph retires, like it's pretty bleak with, you know, Pods running around, breaking shots. And then, you know, Guy, I thought played well today. I think that was a positive. I really like his game. But we don't really have any cornerstone, you know what I mean, that can really take the mantle out of Steph. And that's why I've always believed, like, and, you know, I guess I'm going on a rant here. Like, we should just went all in with Steph, you know what I mean? Like, from the beginning, rather than trying this 2 timelines plan and, like, basically wasting, like 4 years of his prime, especially post, you know, that championship. So it's just been really, really frustrating, really, as a fan, just seeing this team and the project is out there right now. And yeah.
Can I, I'm gonna give you a different perspective, just for the sake of argument here to have a discussion. Do you think part of this is Steph just basically getting a taste of his own medicine? What I mean by that is he's been absolutely complicit with Steve Kerr's inane personnel decisions. Like clearly he's never speaking up. He just he has 1,000% trust in Steve Kerr. And this is what happens when you let Steve Kerr just have this much control. What I'm trying to say is like Steph could have made some noise here. And I know that's not his style. It's not who he is, but if winning was that important to him, he could have made at least a little bit. He could have made some waves. He could have made a little noise. He could have spoken up to his head coach and been like, dude, what are you doing with the minutes? Like, but he's complicit. He's just being quiet and letting Kerr do his thing. And at a certain point, the question should at least be asked. It's like, is part of this on Steph in terms of the roster and where the team is now? And truth is, like, he might be okay with it. Like from Steph's perspective, he might be like, man, we won 4 championships. We had a hell of a run. I'm going to finish up my contract. I love the Bay Area. This is my Bay Area, and it is. He literally owns this place. He might just be okay with all this. I don't know, but what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it's fair. Like he's not the type of guy to, make a huge demand or anything to the front office. I think the closest he's been, like, just being discouraged, like last year pre-Jimmy, you saw his play. He wasn't playing well. You know what I mean? His head was not in it. He wasn't really trying. It just felt like he was quiet quitting. And that's why they made the trade. You know what I mean? So in terms of that, like, I think Steph's obviously he's very loyal, and he's loyal to a fault, I think, in this case with Steve.
I agree.
Like he doesn't want him to be fired.
I agree.
But as the front office, like, you got to make a decision. You know what I mean? Like, you got to go to Steph and be like, okay, we don't think Kerr's the right guy moving forward. If you truly believe that, then you've got to tell Steph that, and let's see what he says about it. You know what I mean? And with this whole, like, Kuminga and Kerr thing, like, there's just been no decision made. Like, either just fire Kerr and let's Kuminga, let's see what you got, or you trade Kuminga and you stick with Kerr and you try to win with, whatever piece you can get back from him. And we've held on to these assets for so long. Now they're like, Kuminga's not a good asset. You know what I mean? Like, teams will not be giving you a lot for a player that clearly doesn't want to be there. The coach doesn't like him. The whole situation is toxic, right? I feel bad for Kuminga because Kuminga deserves the opportunity to play. Like, he is a talented player, you know what I mean? And we've wasted that. And then in terms of, like, Pods, getting as many minutes, I mean, I think it's baffling to anybody why he gets them. And
Unreal.
Like, I have friends who are, like, Lakers fans, you know what I mean? And they see Pods play and, like, why does Pods play? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I really don't know.
Hey, dude. That game where they played the T-Wolves and Austin Rivers was broadcasting from the stands. I think that's all you needed to see to get a good understanding of what non-Warriors markets, media people, players feel and think about Podziemski, man. They don't have a lot of respect for him.
Yeah, they don't, clearly.
No.
And like, again, he's not a good asset either.
No.
And I don't think anyone would willingly want to take on Pods, especially with the way he's been playing. The only guy I think is good, I like Moody, but again, he's not some cornerstone, he's not some star, right? He could be a solid role player for you, and that's
Solid role
fine.
player,
Like,
yeah.
he's solid. But my point is, like, we've held on to these assets for so long, and now there's, like I said, there's no way out, and it's depressing. Like, now that I think about it, it is pretty depressing. But at the end of the day, that's the situation we have.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And our best assets are the picks. Because we've mismanaged everything. Now these picks look so good down the line after Steph retires. It's like, what are we gonna do, right? So that's I guess that's the one good thing.
Well, it's one of many. Look, man, I'm not gonna even pretend to hide my excitement for those picks and the fact that for the first time in a long ass time, we're gonna be approaching off seasons, like scouring the draft, like looking at prospects, and this is going to be fun. I know a lot of people are looking at this as like doom and gloom, but at the same time, I feel like the folks who are seeing it as doom and gloom are the same folks who, when Stephen Curry retires, will not give a shit about the Warriors. And there are a lot of people like that who are Warriors fans, like the Jim Parks of this world, right? Sort of throw that dude under the bus, but I'm not making this up, man. The guy was a Kings fan, and then Stephen Curry emerges, not even in his rookie year or second year or third year. His fifth year is when Steph really started to light the NBA up by storm. And then you have the Jim Parks of the world going, oh, that's fun. Oh, that's exciting. I'm going to abandon my team and pretend I'm a fan of them now. Let's see all those folks stick around when Steph retires. the Warriors will continue going, and I'm really excited to see what they do. I'm looking forward to the rebuild because the doom and gloom crowd, another thing they love to bring up, and we have no idea if this is true. I also haven't seen any indication it's going to be true, is they think that what happened to the Chicago Bulls when Michael Jordan retired is what's going to happen to the Warriors. And they think that Joe Lacob and company are like Jerry Reinsdorf and company. Bull effing shit, man. Night and day difference, dude. Reinsdorf is scum of the earth, one of the worst owners on the planet, a lousy human being for the way he's making that fan base feel in Chicago. Lacob wants to win. Lacob has shown he's willing to spend. Lacob does not like being irrelevant. He wants his team to be making noise on a consistent basis. I'm looking forward to seeing this next chapter, man. I really am. And if the next chapter means all these phony fake fans who are only around here because of Steph, if they go poof, good riddance. Middle finger to you, man. Like, because you're not real fans. You're not Warriors fans. You're Steph fans. That's a huge difference. It's a team sport. It ain't an individual sport. So if that's all you are, if you're just a Steph fan, a casual fan, bye. Nice knowing you. And I'm looking forward to what's next. I really am.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I mean, the next few months might be rough, but even then, I don't know if it's going to be rough because we like hopefully Kuminga will get a run, and hopefully Steph's healthy. That's my number. Side note, that's my number one concern right now. It's not the trade. It's not that the trade deadline's expiring in 2 days. It's when are we going to see Steph again? Like, how long is Runner's knee going to keep him out? Like, is he going to play Thursday in Phoenix? Side note, to the great local media contingent, did you bother asking Steve Kerr that question? Probably not, because all of you do nothing except ask that Olay bullshit.
Olay bullshit.
That's all the questions you get, man. Like, no, like it's insanity how little inquisition there is, how little genuine curiosity there is from this media contingent, man. They never ask hard questions. They rarely ask follow-up questions. What's the status on Steph? What's the status on Kuminga? Oh, we don't know because nobody effing asked.
Don't give me this Olay bullshit.
Goddamn Olay bullshit, man. This media scene's so pathetic, dude. It's just rank. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. And then one last point I want to make about the Draymond, Draymond presser that just happened. I mean, that was kind of surreal to me, just hearing him talk about potentially even being moved. Like, I never even, especially with Clay's, I wish, I could go back. And even if we're bad, I wish Clay, Steph, and Draymond could just, write it off together. And it's unfortunate that, that couldn't happen. But with I don't understand why you would trade Draymond if it's not for Giannis, which, I mean, but the chances are we're not getting Giannis. Because
and Memo, sorry, real quick, I want to say this, Memo, too. Here is my suspicion on what went down with Draymond. The team has enough respect for Dre where it's no secret they're trying to get Giannis, and there's a likelihood that in the back and forth with Milwaukee, they could have said, well, would you trade Draymond if it comes to that? And the Warriors are probably like, yeah, we do that. The moment they said that to the Bucks, they had an imperative to go to Draymond and let him know what's up, which is, hey, look, man, your name was brought up in these trade discussions. Does it mean he's actually going to get traded? Who knows? My guess would be that's what happened. My guess is because his name technically came up, they're doing the right thing, the respectable thing, by going to Draymond and letting him know his name came up. Does it mean that it's a sure thing? No. In all likelihood, he's not going anywhere. I would be shocked if he's traded again. I need to see before I believe it. But because his name actually was involved in that discussion, I think they felt the need to do the right thing by simply letting him know that. And a lot of this is being blown out of proportion as a result, when in reality, he might not go. The reason why I'm very hesitant to believe that Draymond's actually traded is because I don't think this organization is just going to suddenly stop caring about what Steph thinks and wants. Steph does not want to lose Draymond Green. Do you think otherwise? Do you think Steph is okay with Draymond being traded?
I mean, probably not. I mean, I mean that's his guy. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
exactly.
Um,
So if you're gonna trade him, like I don't think you're gonna trade him to for a rebuild purpose. Like you'd probably trade him for Giannis. And but the Giannis trade, him coming to the Warriors, I just don't see that happening, dude. And largely it's because of Giannis himself and where he wants to go. And so if that trade's not happening, Draymond's probably not going to get traded. And this is all for nothing. But who knows?
I did find it interesting though. Like he was talking about Steve Kerr talked to him about it. Which I think there's some validity there. I mean, if Steve Kerr is coming to him and talking about these rumors and making sure he's okay, like I don't think it's nothing. But at the same time, like I agree with you. I'd probably be shocked if he does get moved. And then one last point I want to make, like in if you think if we're not going to make a move, which that might happen, would you tank this year? Maybe that's crazy, but I don't personally believe this current roster can do anything in the playoffs. We've seen it pre-Jimmy last year. We're basically that minus Wiggins, which is worse. And then we have Horford, and Melton, I guess, because he's playing now. But
and Melton, by the way, had a decent game tonight. He played 23 minutes, 48 seconds. I imagine he's still on that minutes restriction, even though I don't know why he would be. I mean, most guys who come back from an ACL, when they look like this, you kind of just let them go. But outside of the three-point shot, which was non-existent for Melton, he was 0 of 5 from deep tonight. And some of those threes were momentum killers, meaning like if they had actually gone in, they were during the middle of runs, and the Warriors could have actually had a fighting chance tonight. But you take out those three-point attempts, and he was 5 of 8 from the field, had 6 rebounds, had 6 assists, added a steal, 10 points in the game. I personally love Melton, and I hope he's part of the team long term. I really do. Just my feelings on it. I also don't get this. Berto in our chat, I don't know if this is for me, saying I had a chance to ask Steve Kerr personally. Ask him what? What do you mean? And you said I only giggled with him. I don't know what that means, Berto. If that was for me, please follow up because I don't understand that. But Memo, go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. And then our team right now, I don't think we have a chance of making the playoffs or making a deep run. So the question is like, would Steph be okay with having another lost season, and then maybe potentially getting a high pick in this year's draft? Because like that's the only pathway I see in terms of this team being relevant again.
Yeah.
If Steph retires, like at that point, I don't know what they're gonna do. You kind of saw a glimpse of it tonight, like what the product would look like. So,
yeah, tonight was ugly.
Yeah,
and again, Steve Kerr did say some changes coming. We'll see what that change is, but the Pajemski minutes are torture, dude. They're just effing torture, man. Like he doesn't do shit out there. He literally he'll dribble a lot and then just stop his dribble and then pass it to someone who's like not even in an opportune position to score. Like he just dribble, like he's and it's frenetic and he's just running all over the place, goes nowhere, and then he has to stop his dribble because he's going nowhere and he's not putting pressure on the defense, and then he'll just kick it out to someone else on the 3-point line, and that's it. That's your Pajemski offense, dude. He doesn't finish at the rim. His 3-point shot is not consistent. I don't get it. I don't get any of it.
Yeah, I mean, he just pump fakes. You know what I mean? He's probably like pump faking right now. I mean, like that's all he really does on the court. And I mean, again, I don't think it's like he's the 19th pick. Like he's not like you know what I mean? Like he's not a lottery pick. He's not supposed to be this star.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why you play him like he is.
Because Steve Kerr loves him. That's it. It's just he's a favorite of Kerr's. It's insane.
It really is. And I mean, with pods, like, is he a G? I mean, he's probably an NBA player, maybe a 10-minute per game guy on a serious team, perhaps. Like I could see that for him. But he's been regressing. Like, I guess his stats have been going up, but the expectation of him after his rookie season were like it was pretty high.
Well, it's also Memo. You got to keep in mind the biggest difference and the reason why you're seeing a regression is because his rookie and his first 2 years, he was always out there with Steph and Draymond. And that masked very serious issues. The moment they traded for Jimmy Butler, he was always out there with those two and Jimmy. Like Steve Kerr just kept putting him in these opportune situations where he's surrounded by the team's best players. But this season, he got relegated, right? He got taken out of the starting lineup. He gets put with the bench, and the moment he starts playing with the non-stars, you're seeing the regression. Is because he can't carry the team. He can't make plays for himself. He can't. He's not a good shooter off the dribble. I honestly don't know what he's good at except for taking charges and hustle, I guess. But that's like participation medal type compliments. Like that's not like an NBA star compliment. Like I don't. It's insane, man. It's crazy shit.
Yeah, and another point, like he says a lot too. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like he's like, I want to be better than Steph, which is cool. Like he had a tweet where like he was talking about he wanted to be part of the Olympic team. Like, you know what I mean? Like he
Yeah.
says a lot of stuff that's like crazy. And if you're
Yeah.
saying that, it's cool, but you got to back it up like on the court. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And he doesn't do that. So I mean, that's all I have about him. Like, it is what it is with this team. Like, you know, as currently constructed, they're not, in my opinion, not really going anywhere. And if that's the case, then you know, maybe you tank, you figure out what you can do. Like I said, I think if Kuminga is healthy, maybe you could play him, get his value up, and try to make something happen. But it's just it's pretty depressing right now. So you know, hopefully they can.
At the moment, it is. Yeah, it is. And again, one message of optimism that I can share is hopefully Steph and Kuminga come back soon. If Kuminga's not traded, I like again, I'm not waving a white flag on those two being on your team and those two getting good minutes, man. It's Steph and Curry. It's one of the greatest ever. Kuminga, after being DNP'd for over a month, scored 30 points in 29 minutes. He's not a bad player. He makes things interesting. He's exciting. I want to see this team with those two back in there. And if we get an effort like this, if we get performances like this when Steph and Kuminga are playing, then get depressed. All right, then reach out for your Zoloft or your whatever antidepressant you folks out there are taking. Then make the call to your doctor. Until then, I still have a little optimism for seeing how this team looks when Steph and JK are back. I don't know when that is. I wish somebody had asked Steve Kerr that tonight, but that's my reason for optimism. I think if those two play, we have hope. Some hope.
Yeah,
a little bit.
That's fair. And one last thing, like I have a question for you. Like, I mean, I love Jimmy, and you know he's been great to the team, but with his injury, and with the money that he's making, like, do you think they trade him in the offseason? Because I don't like he's gonna be injured for what, like all of this season and like half of next season. Most likely he'll be back around like Feb.
And you're talking about a torn ACL for a 37-year-old.
Exactly.
Right? I mean, that's red flag.
Yeah, and like if you can offload him, you know, because he would be an expiring in the offseason. So perhaps like a tanking team would you know, take that contract and maybe give you some assets that you can actually play. Because that's the biggest thing. Like having 60 million or like whatever it is, like not playing, like that's a big chunk of money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It is.
And as much as I love Jimmy, but if he's not playing, like I think we got to move that contract. You know what
I agree. I don't know what you move him for. I don't know who would want that, but I'm with you. It's like from my perspective, to me, Jimmy Butler is like I see him as someone who's like retired essentially. Like if we ever see him in a Warriors uniform again, I'd be a little surprised. If you ever see him playing impactful NBA minutes again, I'd be a little surprised. Because again, dude, he's going to be 37. Like you can't fight Father Time, man. Are there exceptions to this? Like LeBron James, like Stephen Curry? Yes. Is it the norm? Hell no, man. Like people do not defy aging. It's just damn near impossible, man. And it's not necessarily because your skills decline or it's because like you know, all of a sudden you can't make shots. It's because of what happened to Jimmy. Your body starts to break down. It can't heal as fast. and it's more vulnerable to catastrophic injuries like what he just suffered, the torn ACL. Like Stephen Curry, still one of the best players in the world, but he wasn't getting runner's knee 5 years ago or 10 years ago. That's like an old man injury, man. That's what happens. You get old and all of a sudden shit starts breaking down. And maybe the worst part, this is just my perspective, but for me, like part of aging, which was a harsh reality, was realizing I don't like these injuries anymore. Like I used to be a ragtag, like I was a skate rat as a kid. Again, I used to be a sponsor snowboarder once upon a time, and I broke a lot of bones, dude, tore a lot of shit. And I used to not care. It was one of those things where it's like, F it, dude. I like pain. At a certain point, you do get, the pain gets old. Like wearing a cast gets old. Like going under a knife for surgery gets old. You don't want to go through that shit anymore. It gets exhausting. And so that's another shitty part of aging. But yeah, I'm with you, man. To me, Jimmy Butler it was a valiant short-term effort. It's a ton of money that the Warriors invested for that minimal effort. I'm not going to absolve Steve Kerr for DMP and Kuminga because, again, if he's going to come out publicly and say that with Jimmy Butler out, Stephen Curry suddenly feeling the pressure on his shoulders, how the hell do you think Jimmy Butler felt with the Kuminga DNPs? In Jimmy Butler's mind, he thought Kuminga was going to be his brother on the court, fighting with him, not rotting on a bench while Jimmy's out there trying to carry a foursome around him of guys like Pajemski, GP2, Buddy Hield. That is what you were putting Jimmy Butler in, the situations. You were surrounding him with hobbits. I mean, there were multiple instances this year where Jimmy Butler was out there as your center. I'm not lying. I'm not making that up. Jimmy Butler was literally the biggest player out there, and you're going to sit here and pretend that pressure that has hurt Stephen Curry that he's feeling on his shoulders and is wearing him down, that the same premise does not apply to Jimmy Butler? Are you out of your mind? Anyways, with all that said, I think Jimmy Butler, again, it's crazy, man. $120 million for basically like 50 games is what it came down to.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate, you know. Like whenever he was on the floor, he played pretty well. I felt like, you know, he connected the game well. Those second units looked very promising with him, you know, kind of controlling things. So it's unfortunate, you know, tough situation.
Yeah.
Season probably ended like once he got hurt.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's what I think. But
you might be right. Yeah. If I was a betting man, and I am, but if I could bet on that, I would bet with you. I would say, you're playing the price.
Yeah. And then one last take before I leave. Like, I think Steve Kerr, like, his situation this offseason, I think, like, you gotta let him go, right?
Who, Kerr?
Yeah, Kerr.
Absolutely.
But, like, would Steph be fine with that, though?
Would Steph be fine with that?
Yeah.
1 minute, we're literally having a discussion about trading Draymond Green. If Stephen Curry is okay with Draymond being traded, and I don't know if he's okay with it, but he's gonna have to accept it, then I think the same premise applies to Steve Kerr. Will he like it? No. Will he have to deal with it? Yes. It's life, man. We don't always get what we want. And in Stephen Curry's situation, this is the reality of the end of your career. Like Draymond said, all good things come to an end, and that includes Steve Kerr's tenure as head coach.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I hope he's gone personally.
Me too.
I think, you know, his time has ran out.
Me too, brother. Me too.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. Have a good night, Memo. Thank you, man. Great call. We'll bring Shardal. You're going to come on with me in just a second. But let's check an email or two real fast. This quickly turned into a fun little bit that we do. And again, if you ever want to email us, the email address is warriors24pod@gmail.com. One more time. Where's the graphic on that? The banner. Here it is. Warriors24pod@gmail.com. Same applies for any prospective sponsors out there. We have inventory space open for local sponsors. I know we're in an economic recession, but provided you are not a sports gambling service, we can take you in. That's sadly become an impediment for a lot of other prospective sponsors because FanDuel is our title sponsor. We cannot, or maybe not cannot's the right word, but it becomes a conflict of interest. And sports gambling is dominating the business of sports these days. Anyways, reach out to us, Warriors24pod, not just if you're interested in sponsoring the program, but if you just want to shoot us an email.
Letters, we get letters. We get stacks and stacks of letters.
Email from Joe, who writes to us, that's a great little audio bit you chose for your email segment. But maybe just to open the segment rather than before each email, in my opinion. Love the music jingle. It's perfect. He goes on, Joe. I wonder what I thought was a good detailed comment on Threads the other day, and then I lost it being a noob dum-dum. It was after Armando Laura's comment on the picture video clip of Steve Kerr and his fellow troopers patting down JK after his first game back. I forgot to add music. I apologize. Hold on one second. Let's get the club in here. We continue. Armando is putting a voice to reality, literally taking my and others' thoughts right from our minds and mouths, almost verbatim. Major respect and appreciation for Mando. P.S. I figured you might be needing to play the game of maintaining professionalism, as you put it, or something of that nature. Too bad Steve Kerr and them can't even maintain a level of respect on a human level for their players and employees. Sad laugh. And then he asks, are there any good chat regulars on Threads that you know of? Joe. Good email, Joe. One recommendation for Threads. He was just on the show the other day. He's Armando's buddy. So I can find his handle here real fast. Evanistics. Evan Ball. Who incredibly writes for a number of Taylor Sheridan's shows, among other TV shows and movies. You can follow him on Threads at Evanistics. Evanistics. Thank you, Joe. We'll do one more email tonight, and we'll bring Chardol and wrap it up. This one is from Tyler Murdoch.
Letters, we get letters. We get stacks and stacks of letters.
Tyler writes, hey, Cy, longtime listener, back from that other shitty platform that limited you to 30-minute shows. I really hated that. In case you folks were wondering, did you have a lot of battles with your bosses regarding that time limit? Yes. Like all the time. And part of the problem was all the mixed messaging. 1 minute, I got a message. Dude, just as long as you keep it under 40 minutes, you're good. Then the next week, as long as you keep it under 35 minutes, you're good. Wait, you just told me 40 last week. What the hell are you doing? What's with the inconsistencies? I digress. Let's go back to Tyler Murdoch, who writes, says, I'm extremely charismatic. Thank you, Tyler, and run a fantastic show. Thank you again. Okay, so he's buttering me up. I'm expecting a massive letdown. Let's see what Tyler says. I agree with most of your Kerr criticism, but I think where I disagree with you potentially is that this roster has the players to do anything of significance. I think it was particularly insane for Armando to say this is a championship roster. But anyways, I think it would be fun if you took tonight's players, this email is from tonight, and gave an ideal minutes breakdown, since you said you disagreed with Kerr's minute distribution tonight. Parentheses, I did too, but I do not want to influence what you say. LOL, unparentheses. For example, Gui Santos, how many minutes should he get? Draymond, how many minutes should he get? Doesn't have to exactly equal 240, but let's say you hit 240 and we can try our best to play coach here. I think you'll come to find once you do this exercise that the players that got minutes still aren't good enough to get anything done. The roster is not good, in my opinion. That's a great exercise. And I actually love doing this because Tyler, I run this exercise in my head constantly. It's why Kerr drives me mad. Mr. Silax in our chat says it's easy, just less pods. Yes, but let's actually break it down. I'll share my screen again to show you the box score, so you can get a visual here. And for the podcast audience, I'll try to articulate as clearly as possible, as always. So we're zoomed into the Warriors roster here, and I can easily tell you what I do. And again, it always comes up to 240 minutes. That's the total minute count for all your players in a 48-minute game, which is 48 times 5. Gui Santos played 26 minutes and 28 seconds tonight. Make that 35. All right. And I'll round these down to make it easier. So that's 8 more minutes right there for Gui. Draymond Green played 25 minutes, 28 seconds. Leave that as it is. Al Horford played 20 minutes and 5 seconds tonight. Let's get back to that one. Moses Moody played 20 minutes and 15 seconds. That should be 35. There's 15 minutes right there. So now we're at 23. In other words, to simplify things, Brandon Podziemski DNP'd, all his minutes go to Moody and Santos. All right, so now we're back to even in terms of minutes. Will Richard played 13 minutes and 6 seconds. Add 20 minutes to that. He's young. He can handle it. Most rookies play 30 to 35 minutes, rookies that teams are invested in. Pat Spencer can stay right there where he is. 26 minutes and 6 seconds. Melton's on a minute restriction. Not much we can do there. The extra 20 minutes we gave Will Richard, you take that away from Buddy Hield. And the remaining 5 minutes of Buddy's and the remaining 8 minutes and 50 seconds of GP2, you reallocate that to Trayce Jackson-Davis and Malachi Leons. And what you now have is Podziemski DNP'd, Buddy Hield DNP'd, GP2 DNP'd. You now have Trayce Jackson-Davis. All of Quentin Post's minutes to Trayce Jackson-Davis, or keep Quentin Post the way it is there and give 10 more minutes to Trayce Jackson-Davis, and then give the rest to Malachi Leons, who's 6'9", who's athletic, who I'm dying to know what he looks like with a real run. There's your exercise. Actually, wasn't that hard. So there you go. Appreciate the email, Tyler. That was awesome. That's an exercise I can do all day, every day, because I do it all day, every day. Let's see if there's any more. Is there one more email I want to get to? No, we'll save that one for another night. And again, if you want to email us, it is very simple. Just warriors24pod@gmail.com. Again, warriors24pod@gmail.com. All right, we're going to wrap up the show with the man of the hour.
Stay at home, son.
Oh, it is the Danger Zone. Shardal, how you doing, buddy?
Hi, Sai. I'm a big fan of your YouTube channel.
Thank you.
You make some great content videos on the platform. As the Golden State Warriors suffer a 113-94 loss against the Philadelphia 76ers from Chase Center in downtown San Francisco, California. They were without Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler, and Jonathan Kuminga, and they looked tired and exhausted against an impressive Philadelphia 76ers squad consisting of Kelly Oubre Jr., Adam Bona, Jared McCain, and VJ Edgecombe.
Shardal, the chat has been on fire with Brandon Podziemski nicknames. Are you seeing all this?
I'm seeing all this.
It It's good. It's funny stuff, man. Bravo to our chat. I'll read it out loud for the podcast audience who may have missed it. This goes back. Hold on. I got to get to the start of this. I didn't realize how far this was going. And Julian Bashir, the catalyst for a lot of this. Jesus, this goes way back. Hold on. Let me get to the start of this here. Okay, so Julian was doing like 90% of these. So he starts with Brandon. Greatest ability is availability, not in my case, Pajemski. Brandon Chardal Pajemski. Look at you, Chardal, getting some love. Brandon, I sit next to Steph Pajemski.
And they have won 5 straight, which is so disgusting and sickening to watch this team flourish.
Brandon,
I'm a Philadelphia 76ers hater. I'm a Philadelphia 76ers hater. I go to every 76ers stream and I troll the content creator.
Why?
I root on the other team. Like if the Sixers are playing the Celtics, I root on the other team.
Brandon thinks shot first, pass second, still no shots. Pajemski. Why do you care?
I don't like the Sixers.
Well, I know that, but why? Why the Sixers of all teams?
I just don't like Philadelphia teams. The Eagles, the Sixers. I don't like all Philadelphia teams.
Are you serious? You're anti-Phil? Is it because you think the fans are too aggressive?
The fans are too. All the fans of Philadelphia are way too aggressive. They get in your face and they're not afraid to punch you down. They're not afraid to get in your face that you don't want to hear.
Why not just say that shit back, or is that what you're doing? That's
why
right.
when the Philadelphia 76ers say that shit in my face, I go back and do the same to them and give back the same.
Hey, Chardal, Pajemski's a connector. He's connecting the Warriors to Cancun.
I do not know what this whole connector BS is about. Like, what is this connector? Why does saying pause is a connector? Can you please explain to me what they mean by him being a connector?
I can't. You'd have to.
Then why do they keep bringing that term up every single show that he pods as a connector? I don't understand this whole bullshit about pods being a connector.
Brandon, third worst playoff performance in NBA history. Pajemski.
Here,
Brandon, I was good for 1 year at Santa Clara. Pajemski.
Here's a proposed trade that I will tell. Here's a proposed trade, and tell me if you agree with it or not.
Okay.
Brandon Pajemski, Jonathan Kuminga, and Draymond Green in exchange for Bobby Portis and Giannis.
Okay, yeah, hell yeah.
Do you agree with that trade or not?
Easily. Pajemski's that hairy mole you want to get rid of. There's been a little more creativity there. That was just too direct to the point. Brandon, can't see on his right side, Pajemski. Can you say the trade one more time? I just want to make sure I didn't say yes to something that was crazy.
So it's Jonathan Kuminga, Brandon Pajemski, and Draymond Green in exchange for Bobby Portis and Giannis Antetokounmpo.
You'd have to add one more contract to get Bobby Portis, but otherwise, yeah, of course.
I'll say Pods, Kuminga, and Green, and Moody for Giannis and Bobby Portis.
I say yes to that. Brandon only drive left Pajemski. Brandon plus minus Pajemski. Brandon, my mom hooked up with Kerr Pajemski. It keeps going. Brandon, I was a pinball bumper in a past life, Pajemski. Brandon can't throw a lob, Pajemski. Julian Bashir's most of these. Brandon looks like Adam Silver if he had hair. Pajemski. Do you agree with that, Chardal? Do you think Brandon Pajemski looks like Adam Silver if Adam Silver had big poofy curly hair?
If Adam Silver had hair, he would look like Brandon Pajemski.
Brandon, I have my own signature Chinese shoe that you have never seen anywhere. Pajemski, is that true? Does he have a deal with Anta like Klay Thompson, or no? I'm guessing no. Brandon, I spelled Brandon with an I, not an O. Pajemski.
Stephen Curry is gonna potentially be unveiling a new shoe on Valentine's Day. He has a brand sponsorship with Nike.
Is that official?
Stephen Curry is officially partnered with Nike, so he's gonna have a new shoe.
I did not know that. Congratulations to Stephen Curry.
He's broken ties with Under Armour, and he's now signed a partnership with Nike.
I didn't know that was official. Brandon,
no, that's official. It's official. It's official.
Congratulations
for Stephen Curry. It's official.
I saw a Twitter account tweet that, and there was no link, there was no source, so I didn't trust it. But I trust you, Shardall. So if you're saying Stephen Curry is officially with Nike, congratulations.
I know what whenever I come on the show, I never ever say things that are false and not true.
I believe you. And look, if it
I
ever
went on the internet and it actually said that. So I'm not making anything up here. I never make any false information and bring it onto the show.
You can't just trust the internet.
No, but I never make false. Whenever I come on the show, I never ever bring false information and rumors and lies. I never bring that onto the show.
I know you don't, Shardall. Brandon, get a red wiggly line as incorrect spelling Pajemski. Shardall, is it true someone in the chat tonight said you were on 95.7 The Game earlier? Is that true?
I called into 95.7 The Game.
What'd you say to him?
I just said that it was a tough loss for the Warriors. They lost. I said that they're resilient and they can bounce back in their next game against the Phoenix Suns from the Footprint
Did you ask
Center.
him what I asked you to ask him?
I didn't. Bonta Hill wasn't there.
It doesn't matter if Bonte's there or not. Remember, next time you go on, it doesn't matter who the host is. Ask them, are you propagandists? All right?
Next time I go on the show, I'll ask them, are you a propagandist or
Just
not?
ask him that. Yeah, you don't have to like call him that and offend him. Just ask. Be like, are you guys propagandists? Just see what they say. Brandon, I am changing my middle name to Hustle Boy Pajemski. Brandon, I drink coffee pregame because Jimmy does. Pajemski.
So what were your
Brandon,
thoughts on the loss? What were your thoughts on the loss today for the Warriors? I mean,
this was like the worst.
This was ugly. This was
It was an
ugly in
awful
every
game.
facet of this game. This was not the way you like to see the Warriors close out games. I mean, like this. The Warriors had so many opportunities to win this game tonight, and they failed on every opportunity that was given to them, and they looked tired and exhausted tonight against Philadelphia.
Brandon, I make you wish for the golden days of Smilejek Pajemski. Brandon, I don't pass the eye test. Pajemski. Brandon, stay at home, son. Pajemski. Brandon, I am Steve Kerr's cowbell. Pajemski. This is fucking comedy.
Hey, Sai, if anybody comes after you and attacks you for your appearance, those guys can go and F themselves, because this is your show, and you can, if you want to look shabby and if you want to look like how you're looking, go ahead and rock it. Don't worry about what the other people say. This is your show. You can wear whatever you want on your show. You can look like however you want to look. And if people come on the show and say that I don't like how Sai looks, he doesn't maintain a good appearance, go hell with yourselves, man. Let Sai do whatever he wants in the show. He's the host.
Brandon, I can hit the backboard from far. Pajemski. Brandon, curb back scraper. Scraper.
I just love everything you do on the show. I mean, I really love that you make the show spicy. You add a lot of humor to the show.
I try, man.
I love that about you.
Shardall, a chat question for you from Jay Lee. Is it true you lost half your life savings betting on the Sixers?
That's wrong. I don't know why you're saying that.
That's
that is not
misinformation.
I don't agree with that comment. Please do never post that again in the chat ever again. If I see that chat, I'm going to be very upset with you. You're going to burn in hell if you say that again. So never post it again in the chat.
Do you like this? Do you like this nickname from Larry Hood's Shardall the Connector?
Pod's the Connector.
No, you
is disgusting, and I hate that. But Shardall the Connector, I actually like that. I really want that. Will be my new nickname.
I actually like that. That actually kind of works out.
Because I connect, because Shardall the Connector is a really good nickname for me, because I come on the show and I connect the show. And I put the show together and make a really great result out of it.
I'm not gonna read the sexual ones, even though I showed it on the screen. Brandon, traffic cone, barbecue chicken, Pajemski.
Larry Hoods, what are you posting in the comments section? I mean, let's keep the show family friendly.
No, I think
we have a lot of
Hoods
people
was fine,
coming
I
on
think.
here, and we don't want to be saying offensive things in the chat, because somebody can actually read that and actually take that literally. Literally, they could actually take it like in a literal sense and completely turn it into something bad.
Brandon, I bring energy to the other team, Pajemski.
So
Brandon talks trash a lot, Pajemski.
So I went salsa dancing today.
How'd they go?
I went really good.
Do you have a partner? Like, how does that work exactly?
So when I take lessons, I take different I take different dance styles. I take salsa, I take bachata, I take merengue.
But do you have a dance partner when you're doing this, or do you?
So when I take the dance lessons at my local dance studio, I can ask, they schedule me with a teacher, or I can pick any of the instructors I want to dance with, and I prefer female.
Okay.
Like female, I prefer female over male. It's just because I'm a 29-year-old,
I get it.
29-year-old adult, and I like to dance with the
No,
ladies.
I totally get it. Like, look,
at
if I'm getting a massage, I'd prefer to have a woman give me the massage.
I
just
feel
'cause it
whenever
feels a
I
little
go
weird.
whenever I take salsa lessons and I pick a woman instructor, I feel more like I just feel better with the female instructor. It's just how I was born to be.
Have you ever been assigned a male instructor while you're dancing?
But some of the male I've seen that some of the male instructors are equally good as a female. Male instructors can be good too.
But you've never
can
had
be
a
really
male
good.
instructor?
Like I've seen some really good guy dancers on, Dancing with the Stars. Some male instructors are really good. Like
No doubt.
They can actually be as good as the female instructors.
No doubt. But what I'm asking you, Shardal, is when you're at the lesson and you have a dance partner, have you ever had a male instructor as the partner?
I've no. So the people I dance with at the studio, they're just regular students. They're not instructors. They're just like people who are there to dance and participate. So they're not male or female. Like, I mean,
What are they if they're not male or female? I don't.
They're
get that.
male or female, but they're not instructors. They're just the people that attend at the studio. So sometimes I pick up a male student to dance with, and sometimes I pick a female student to dance with.
When you pick the male student, does that feel weird?
It kind of feels weird, but I get over it.
Good for you. Good for you. Be secure in your sexuality. It's the more secure you are, I think the better you'll feel. But when you get it, when you're practicing with a female student, are you spinning some game? Are you flirting?
When I get matched up with the female student, I feel way better. I just feel way better. Like I just feel more confident.
I get that.
Dancing with a female instructor and a female student.
Have you ever danced with a female student that you were actually interested in, and maybe you thought, "Hey, I could ask for a number after this"? Like,
I danced with a female student, and I was interested in her.
what happened?
I was too shy to ask her for a number.
That's okay. So this is what we got to work on, dude.
I'm too shy.
I know, but you got to get over.
If you ask a girl for her number, she's gonna turn me down.
So what?
She's gonna reject me for the person
who
that
cares?
I am.
Let
She's
her
gonna
reject
say that
you.
I don't want to dance. I don't want to be with this dirty, shabby 29-year-old adult who lives with his parents at home, and he doesn't have anything.
You're not shabby. You're not dirty.
No, but what if she calls me and then she says I don't want to date somebody who has a horrible appearance and he doesn't maintain himself well.
Why would she say that to you?
No, but what if she says that to me? Then what should I say to her if she says that to me?
Well, there's only one thing to say if someone actually says that.
No, fuck you.
That's it. But I promise you, they're not gonna look. That you're going down a very dark, like, negative rabbit hole that very likely is not going to happen. Meaning, like, you're putting these scenarios in your head that are not realistic. You're not dressing bad, are you?
I'm not dressing bad.
So why would this person say that to you?
But sometimes just girls, they want to say that to a guy, just to put him down and say that you'll never find a girl you'll never find
Why
a
do
girl
you
that's
assume that?
perfect.
Shardal, why do you assume that? What
No,
made
but
you
some-
think that that's what women actually want to say or do?
No, but some girls say that to a guy to hurt his feelings.
Well, yes, a shitty person would say that, regardless of gender. And if they do actually say or do something that's mean like that, all you do is stand up and say,
Fuck you.
That's it.
No, but
And
when
move
I go
on.
to the dance studio that I go to, I don't know, like, if I'm looking around the room, like, they might be one or two girls who just think that we don't want to be with you. Like, like, I've seen a lot of times when guys go on a beach and ask a girl for her number, and the girl says that I'm not going to give you my number.
Shardal, can you read this chat right here?
I don't want to read that.
Don't say it out loud, but you can read it, right?
Don't put the pussy on a pedestal, Shardal.
Well, you don't. I thought you were. Oh, whatever. Do you know what that means?
I don't know what that means.
It means don't treat the other person like they're a princess or a queen that you're lucky to get 5 seconds with. They're just another human being. They're no more special than you. Just be a good, nice person, and if they reject you, move on to the next.
So what I should tell somebody is if they want to find a partner that's perfect for them. If one girl doesn't accept you, there's other fish in the sea. You
There's
could look for other
millions.
beautiful girls in the sea.
You can't let
There's other
rejection,
fish in the sea. There's
Yeah, you
other
can't-
girls that like you.
You can't let rejection be the impediment for you, because if you do, you're never going to get love, man, ever. So you got to take risks. It's not fun. I get it. Okay, like, you're not alone in not wanting to face rejection. It's the shittiest part by a mile of being single, but you can't let that fear like just stop
So
you
I
from
recently,
LIBIN, you know?
back in high school, I went to Mission Sounds at high school, and I went
Good
to a
school.
a dance, and I won. There was this raffle where you pick a girl and you put a ticket into a raffle, and then you get to pick one girl to dance with, like one girl.
So what happened?
And I won it. I won the girl that I want to dance with in my dreams.
And then what?
And it was the most beautiful time of my life. I loved it.
And then what happened after that dance?
I felt she said that I love dancing with you, and I want you to go out. I was so mesmerized by her, and then it's heartbreaking that she didn't come up to me and say that, do you want to go out with me? You want to go and have McDonald's or something, or you want to go out and have dinner somewhere? She didn't say that to me. She walked away.
Well, you're never gonna find one that says let's go to McDonald's. But first of all, you're the one who's gonna have to
And
ask.
let's have a Big Mac or something.
No. You're Shardal. First of all, Shardal, I still think there's a 1% chance that you're pulling a Kaiser Sose on all of us. Just 1%, but you never know. With that said, you do realize that you cannot wait for them to ask you out. You got to step up.
But I went there and asked a couple of girls to dance, and I asked them, and then one of them rejected me, and then I found I asked 3 or 4 girls, and then one of them said, I'm dancing with you, let's go. And they took me by the hand, and then we went inside and we danced, and we had a wonderful time, and it was beautiful.
Brandon, the
And it
only
was the
player to play
best time of
26
my
minutes
life,
per
you know?
game
I
the
love-
first 4 years and out the league after Pajemski. It's still going, Shardal. Brandon, no one can spell my last name, even though I play a lot of minutes in the Warriors, and the fans can see my name a lot on my jersey. Pajemski. Shardal,
the
Larry
golden girl-
Hood says it best. You miss
You know-
100% of the shots you don't take.
You know the
Shoot your
celebrity
shot,
that I really
brother.
want.
Shoot your shot.
You know the celebrity that I really want to date. I really want to go with. I want to really date Megan Fox.
Okay, I think she's actually single. You should try for that. She's got 4 kids. You got
Taylor-
something going for you. I say go for it. Shoot your shot.
If Jason, Taylor Swift is married to Travis Kelce, I will they're broken up. Maybe I should date Taylor Swift.
Well, now
The
you're
single?
being ridiculous. The Megan Fox
No,
thing.
but I like being
was-
ridiculous.
Megan Fox thing. I was on board
But
with.
don't
Taylor
I bring
Swift,
comedy in
now
the show when I be ridiculous? I mean,
Well,
it's
look,
just
you gotta be
adding comedy
realistic.
to the entertainment. But because you say that, should I provide more entertainment on the show?
I
I'm
didn't say
providing
that.
entertainment for you.
I love that you do. I never said you
No,
have
but
to
you-
or you need to. You're
No, but
good.
I want to.
I know you're doing a great job.
Because when I
And I'm
provide
sitting here-
entertainment, that's why I'm the closer.
Well, you're the closer because you're you. That's it. Just Chardol, you are you. That's the only reason you're the closer. You are an awesome human being, brother.
What are your tips if I want to date a girl that I really like? What are some tips you give me? Like, do you have any dating advice? I know you're not a dating counselor, so you don't provide advice.
No, I don't think
to,
anyone's an
people
expert
that
on love.
date
We're just
on
having
love.
fun. But Larry Hoods brings up Megan Fox. I mean, look, here's why I said go for Megan Fox. Single mom, 4 kids, 2 baby daddies. You might have a shot there. Taylor Swift, billionaire, no kids. Good luck with that. that's a reach. But the single mom with 4 kids, I think you might have a shot there, and that's literally what Megan Fox is. Are you ready to do a scoreboard check, Chardol?
I'm ready to do the scoreboard. And let's wrap up the show
Let's
for
do
the
it.
night.
Real quick, really Dubs in the chat's asking, can Kuminga overcome his desire to move on if he stays? That's a real question. Easily, yes. And for the simple reason that money talks, it can mend wounds, it can heal damaged relationships. If the Warriors open up their pocketbooks, everything will be fine. I promise.
There's this Philadelphia 76ers content creator. He has a YouTube channel. It's called Philly Take with RB. He's a Sixers content creator. And I felt intimidated by him saying that I don't want you to call into my show, and I felt intimidated that because he said that I don't want you calling into my show, and I felt intimidated that I don't want to call into your show ever, and he intimidated me that don't ever call into my show. I don't like you. I don't like the kind of person that you are. You're a disgusting human being. Never call into my show.
Is there a link? Can I hear that or see that?
No, but he told me that you're a troll, and I don't, and you keep trolling me, and I never want you calling into my show again. Get off my show. Unsubscribe from my show right now.
Did you laugh when he said that?
And he said, never call into my show again. I don't want you calling into my show. And
Did
if
you
try
laugh?
and call, and if you, I didn't laugh, and he said if you ever try calling into my show, I'll ban you permanently.
Ooh, yeah, you don't want to get banned,
You'll
right?
you'll never be allowed on my channel again, and he'll block me from his channel. That's why the Philadelphia Sixers content creators are super dangerous, and I don't trust them.
No, they're
What
not
gonna
dangerous.
do
Don't worry
is-
about that. They're just
No, but they're
you're
intimidating.
doing a good job trolling. Bravo.
But they're intimidating, and I feel
I guess.
unsafe being on there. That's
all right,
why
let's-
That's why I rather come on your channel, because I don't ever feel unsafe coming on here.
Good.
Like I don't feel like I'm being that you're gonna say something to me and I'm gonna feel offended
Well,
by
I
it. And
respect you, Chardol. And so you're
and
good.
that's why I come on here.
Yeah, this is
you
a
know,
safe space.
because
All right, let's go through the scoreboard. You ready?
You've never offended me ever. You've never said anything to me that
I'm not trying. I don't
offends
ever
me.
try to offend anyone, even though I do. Unfortunately, a lot of I feel like the one group I always offend are the Steve Kerr diehards. They just don't like.
Those are
fact
the
I
people
criticize.
that you can say things that offend them, but you're not.
What are you gonna do? What are you
Your
gonna do?
personality's not where you offend people. That's
And
not.
you know what's funny is Steve Kerr himself is not offended, but
Your parents have not. Your
his
parents have
face-
not grown you. Have not born you to be that kind of person, right?
Exactly. Let's go through the scoreboard here on a what is the date today? February 4th. No, February 3rd. Technically the 4th. This past
Where's
midnight.
Sharia today? I love Sharia. She's always great coming on here. What happened with her today? I thought she because like the last time when I did the show last time, I told her that if you come on the show, I'll see you. I'll see you on the stream if you're there. I really miss her. I really miss her.
She's
a
busy
wonderful
with
addition.
work, and it's a lot harder for her to come on.
She's a wonderful addition to the show. Really.
She is. But it's hard for her to come on during home games. When the Warriors play at home and it starts at 7 p.m. Pacific time, that means 10 p.m.
So
East
it's too
Coast
late.
time.
It's too late for Sharia to
too
come
late.
on.
It's too late. Exactly.
So the home, so I can come on. So you're saying that I can come on the show and do the scoreboard with you during the home games, with the away games.
I can't promise it. I can't predict anything. All I'm saying, Chardal, is because Sharia is so busy, when she does have time to make in her schedule to come on, I feel like you've been incredibly respectful and playing along great, letting her stick around with me. But she's not here most nights, and and when she's not.
So next time when I come on the show, I promise I won't bring relationship advice into here, because this is not a dating channel. This is the Warriors postgame show. This is a channel where we talk about the Warriors. This is not a dating channel.
True. But we're also trying to entertain and have some fun. And when we're 2 hours and change into the show, who gives an F? You ready for the scoreboard?
I'm ready for the scoreboard. Let's wrap up the show for the night. We have some really great games that we're going to go over. So if you guys have any questions about any of the games that we're covering, please put them in the comment section below.
We start in Detroit, where great game tonight. It was the Pistons hosting the Denver Nuggets, and I believe the Nuggets are now 0-2 since Nikola Jokic came back, including tonight's result again in Detroit. 124-121, the final score. The Pistons improving to 37-12. The Nuggets dropping to 33-18. Jamal Murray, who was selected to his first All-Star game this season, 32 points, 8 assists in the loss. Cade Cunningham, MVP candidate, 29 points, 10 assists in the win. The Utah Jazz, 131-122 winners tonight over the Indiana Pacers. Quentin Jackson for the Pacers, 24 points, 3 steals. Is it Quentin? Is that his name? I want to confirm that I got that right. Yeah, Quentin Jackson. Chardal, does it impress you that Isaiah Collier had 22 assists for the Utah Jazz tonight?
That was really impressive for Isaiah Collier to have 22 assists. He is great on this Utah Jazz squad. He's a great player. He brings grit, determination on the court. He really wants to win every night. That's what NBA players want. They want to go out there every night, put that jersey on for the fans, get up there on the court and play a great game. And I think that he's proven everybody wrong. Everybody's been saying how that Isaiah Collier isn't such a great player. I think he is one of the best players on the Jazz, and I think he's gonna continue to wow people, man. How he plays and how he does everything, and he composes himself on the court is absolutely on a different level.
22 assists is impressive. In my opinion, almost equally impressive is the fact that he played all 48 minutes in that game tonight. It goes to show that Steve Kerr's weird ass minutes distribution makes no sense. But
so what were your thoughts on the 8-team trade? I believe the Jazz traded away some players, and then
I don't know, who cares?
to the Grizzlies, and then no, not so. The Jazz traded. It was an 8-player trade, and the Grizzlies got the Jazz got Jaren Jackson Jr.
Yes. Elsewhere in the association, Isaiah Collier, by the way, a second-year player. Again, played all 48 minutes. The New York Knicks back on track in terms of finding success. They win tonight. Granted, not a big test for them. They beat the Washington Wizards 132-101. Mikal Bridges, 23 points in the win for the Knicks, who improved to 32-18. The Wizards dropping this one at home, fall to 13-36. I don't know who A. Johnson is. That's who ESPN lists as the team's top performer. A. Johnson for the Washington Wizards is A.J. Johnson, a first-round draft pick a year ago by the Bucks. I don't know how he ended up on the Wizards, but he was the top performer for them tonight with 14 points.
So the Washington Wizards are hands down one of the worst teams in basketball right now. Their record is absolutely horrendous, awful. I don't know how Trae Young got traded to the Wizards. I'm not sure how that happened. Trae Young should have gone anywhere else, but he's currently injured right now. To me, that's kind of alarming because they just got Trae Young and then he got injured and he wasn't playing on the Hawks.
Okay, Shardall, let's move on. The Lakers 125-109 winners tonight over the Brooklyn Nets. LeBron James 25 points, 7 assists, 3 steals. Report side note coming out earlier today that LeBron is expected to finish this season and maybe his career, unless he goes to the Cavaliers next season, like Julian Bashir brought up earlier in the show. Anyways, 25 points, 7 assists, 3 steals for LeBron in the win. D Sharp, I don't know who that is either. A lot of randos as being listed by ESPN as top performers tonight.
For me,
Day'Ron Sharp. Yes.
For me in the NBA, I don't know why they're signing all these random players.
There are a lot of them.
That people have never even heard about these guys' names before, and they're getting signed. I'm like, they should stop hiring all these random players. What are your thoughts? Why do they keep signing all these random players? Do you disagree? Do you disagree with that? Do you agree with me that they're signing all these random players who shouldn't be in the league? Like they signed Micah Potter.
I think it depends on the player in the situation, but in the case of Day'Ron Sharp, he's actually this is his 4th year in the NBA. Drafted by the Suns back in 2021, so maybe 5th year. Anyway, so Day'Ron Sharp, 19 points, 14 rebounds, 3 steals. Day'Ron Sharp, side note, is 6'10", 260, the type of big the Warriors could use. The Atlanta Hawks, 127-115 winners tonight in Miami. The likely next home of Giannis Antetokounmpo, unless the T-Wolves make a big play. And you never know about the Warriors. Never say never. Jalen Johnson, 29 points, 11 rebounds, 11 assists in the win. Jaime Jaquez Jr., 21 points, 8 rebounds in the loss for the Miami Heat, who dropped to 27-25. Atlanta improving to 25-27. We're almost there, Shardall. You doing good?
I'm doing good. So, what are your thoughts on the NBA? What are your thoughts on the NBA trade deadline so far? I mean, there were a lot of trades that went down. Jaren Jackson Jr. to the Jazz was one of them. Dario Saric to the Detroit Pistons was another trade that went down as part of the NBA trade deadline. Do you think the Warriors are going to get Giannis? Or is there a highly unlikely chance that they're going to get Giannis?
I say it's unlikely, and I also say, Shardall, that we're creeping out of the danger zone. Let's get back into the danger zone.
Stay at home, son.
You're dangerous, Shardall. You're dangerous. Elsewhere in the association, the Boston Celtics. Winners tonight, 110-100 over the Dallas Mavericks. Boston improving to 32-18. The Mavericks dropping to 19-31. Jaylen Brown, 33 points, 11 rebounds in the win. Cooper Flagg, the future of the NBA, 36 points, 9 boards, 6 assists in the loss. The Celtics earlier today acquiring Nikola Vucevic. Makes me think that they're going to be gunning for that Eastern Conference title. Makes me think Jason Tatum is probably coming back this year. Yeah, sure.
Nikola, as a Warriors fan, I really wanted them to sign Nikola Vucevic, but he went to the Celtics. Man, like he would be really great. He would have been really great in the Warriors. But how do you think he's gonna do on the Celtics? How do you think he's gonna? Do you think he's gonna turn this Boston Celtics into a title contender team?
No. A few more games. We're almost there. 3 more. The Milwaukee Bucks, 131-115 winners tonight over the Chicago Bulls. They beat the Ditka and the Sausage. Kyle Kuzma, 31 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists in the win. Desammu, 17 points, 8 assists in the loss for the Bulls, who dropped to 24-27. The Bucks improving to 19-29. 2 more. We're almost there. Yeah.
What do you mean by Ditka and Sausage?
It's an old Saturday Night Live bit where they were called the Super Fans, and they were like George Wendt, rest in peace. He passed away.
Are you saying that the Chicago team is called they're referred to as Ditka and Sausage?
I'm saying that
Mike
in the Saturday Night Live skit, you had these four, like Chris Farley was part of it, Mike Myers was part of it, and I think the Siegel is the guy's name, the fourth guy, and they were just sitting around this table talking about Chicago sports, and every other word out of their mouth was either Sausage or Ditka, because they love Mike Ditka, because he was the head coach for the 86 Bears who won the Super Bowl. Go check it out sometime. Just Google it on it's SNL Chicago Superfans. It's a hilarious.
So the Chicago sports franchise is known as Ditka and Sausage because Mike
And they also
Ditka
say
was their head coach.
And Bamboo Soldier Blast. Da Bears. Da. Here, I'll play it. I'll play it. Here, I'll look it up right now. It's got to be on like YouTube, one of these things. Bill Schwersky's Superfans. Hold on, I have to add SNL. It really is one of the truly hilarious bits they used to do. And again, it's kind of sad that at least two of the four are no longer with us. Hold on one second. Let me find one. Here we go. No, shut up. Hold on. It's got an ad. Give me 1 second. The ad has to go away. Go away, ad. Okay. And then let me find a section. All right. These are the super fans. Whoops. There we go. There we go.
Hey, all right, we're getting ready to watch the Bears annihilate the Detroit Lions. But first, it's a good time to reflect on our glorious heritage. And here to help us out with your annual presentation is the sixth graders over at St. Ignatius, led by Tommy Arnold.
With a really bad coach. Really makes you want to shed the tears.
Cheers.
All right, I couldn't find an exact segment there that would work, but just Google SNL Superfans and you'll get the good bits out of it.
So there's a YouTube channel. It's called Sports Fury.
Doubles.
There's a YouTube channel called Sports Fury. Have you watched it? It's Rocha Entertainment. It's a YouTube channel. And they cover the Warriors. They basically do every single sports thing. They do the Lakers games and the Bulls games. You should definitely check them out. It's a YouTube channel on YouTube.
Larry Hood's asked that I see Andy Kaufman on SNL. That was before my time, but I'm very aware of the comedic genius of Andy Kaufman, who passed away way too early. Jim Carrey played him, I thought, in an excellent manner on that one.
What are your top 5 favorite SNL sketches? Do you watch SNL?
Oh yeah.
Are you a fan of SNL?
They're actually making a good comeback. Well, I keep waiting for Derek Simmons to come back on the show from Vegas so I can play this little bit.
Like the juice, huh? Juice is very good, huh?
We like
the juice. Juice is good. Very good.
So good.
Either do you like the juice? I don't know. I want to close. Dude, we've been going way too long,
That's my favorite sketch. I love that show, SNL sketch where they say, "I love the juice."
I love it. The juice is good.
I love the juice.
Gilbert Arbolo, though, I think has found a winner in terms of a top 3 sketch, which
Cowbell
is
featuring
Will
Ferrell.
Cowbell, baby. Yeah, I got a fever, and the prescription is more cowbell. The OKC Thunder won their 40th game of the season in 51 tries, 128-92 winners tonight over the Orlando Magic. Isaiah Hartenstein, 12 points, 10 boards, 10 assists. Yes, they call that a triple-double for Isaiah Hartenstein in the win. Jalen Suggs, 20 points, 6 assists in the loss for the Magic, who dropped to 25 and 24. Last game, and this sets up the Warriors' next opponent, which is the Phoenix Suns. The Suns, who are red hot this season. They improved to 31-20, beating the Portland Trailblazers tonight in Portland, 130-125. Colin Gillespie, 30 points, 10 assists, 3 steals in the win for the Suns. Donovan Clingan, 14 points, 15 rebounds in the loss. And a quick look at the standings. And let me share my screen for that, because the NBA what's going on here? Why is the screen all black? Because the NBA on their Twitter account likes to publish this graphic. There we go. And this graphic shows where we are in the standings. And if you look at the Warriors as the number 8 seed, they are 4 games back of the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Phoenix Suns, who are both ahead of them as the 6 and 7 seeds. And the Warriors have just a 2-game lead over the Clippers for the 9 seed. So that's where the standings are at. Shardal, what do you think where do you think the Warriors will finish the year, standings wise?
I think the Golden State Warriors are going to finish first place.
Have a good night, everybody.